torture and starvation of his younger brother at their West Haven home that led to Gavin's death in 2024. KSL News Radio's Adam Small has more from the Ogden courthouse.
Tyler Peterson pled guilty last year to multiple first-degree felonies, including child abuse homicide, noting he has a mental condition, and that's a big reason why he's now just being sentenced today, almost a full year since his guilty plea. Peterson has autism as well as multiple personality disorders associated with anxiety and depression, and that's why his attorney argued he should continue his treatment and supervision at home with his mother, where he's been living under strict supervision for quite some time. The defense argued Peterson's father and stepmother took advantage of his conditions and coerced him into participating in abusing Gavin. However, the prosecution argued there was evidence to suggest Peterson took pleasure in participating and that he could still get the treatment he needs in prison. Gavin and Tyler's father and stepmom are already serving time behind bars for abusing and torturing Gavin for years leading up to his death. At the 2nd District Courthouse in Ogden, Adam Small, KSL News Radio.
We are hearing from neighbors and friends of a West Jordan mother and daughter found dead in their Las Vegas hotel room. Police say Tanya McGeehan shot her preteen daughter, Addie Smith, before taking her own life. Melissa Hawk tells KSL their neighborhood is in disbelief.
We just mourn with them. We're just really sad. We watch the kids walk past our house every day for school.
Neighbors tied blue ribbons on trees and signposts on their block, and they say that they have other gestures planned to show support for the family. KSL's top national stories. Civil rights activist and former presidential candidate Jesse Jackson has died at the age of 84. Jackson was best known for his work with Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. and his work to expand voting access to black and minority voters. The Reverend Al Sharpton paid tribute to his friend in New York today, remembering when they met and what Jackson taught him.
Now, he was a hard taskmaster. He would always get on me about, why are you on this issue? You need to be more studied on this. But he was one who was more responsible than anyone for teaching me activism.
Jackson ran for president twice in the 1980s and was the first black candidate to do so at the time. Sharpton says Jackson was a transformative figure in American politics and the civil rights movement. We'll go more in depth on this with the NAACP coming up at 12:45. Other national stories KSL is following this hour. A big day on the world stage. Negotiations are underway in Geneva over Iran's nuclear program and the war in Ukraine. ABC's chief foreign correspondent Ian Pannell has more.
A third round of U.S. brokered talks between Russia and Ukraine. But despite Russia saying that it wants peace, it's going to make some kind of deal, it's launched another massive strike overnight with hundreds of attack drones and dozens of ballistic missiles again hitting Ukraine's energy infrastructure. More than 500,000 people in Ukraine have endured months without heating amidst a brutal winter.
U.S. officials are also talking about Iran, insisting they give up their nuclear program and make concessions on their ballistic missiles and support for regional militant groups. For the first time this winter, we are seeing a forecast that's calling for snow accumulation in the Salt Lake Valley. KSL News Radio's Don Brinkerhoff joins me from downtown. Don?
Maria, just a couple of minutes ago, the sun was shining here in downtown Salt Lake City, but a little over an hour ago, we couldn't see the Delta Center from our newsroom because of how hard that snow was coming down. KSL meteorologist Matt Johnson says this storm announced itself with winds anywhere from 40 to 65 miles an hour and with a 91-mile-an-hour gust near Lake Point.
I'm not forecasting anything along the lines of 60 and 70 miles an hour, but with yesterday's forecast looking at last night, that wasn't in the forecast. So I don't suspect it'll happen again, but it's just something to think about. But definitely winds sticking around into the evening hours as a new cold front is going to be moving in.
Matt says that the second part of this storm is going to be moving in overnight. He says it'll bring some rain and snow showers with 1 to 4 inches of accumulation on the valley floor. Timing could be a little bit tricky. It could be arriving anywhere from 5 to 11 o'clock tomorrow morning. Reporting live in downtown Salt Lake City, Don Brinkerhoff, KSL News Radio.
The wind caused a number of issues with power poles throughout the region, including in Provo and Price earlier today. Right now, there are hundreds of people without power in small clusters from issues up and down the Wasatch Front. Utah Avalanche Center is already getting the word out. Conditions in our mountains are going to become dangerous with this series of storms we're seeing.
The snow that we received 6 weeks ago on the upper elevation, north-facing slopes, that snow has grown weak and sugary. Now we're going to start to stack dense, heavy, wind-driven snow on top of that. That is going to be a dangerous combo in our mountains.
Avalanche forecaster Craig Gordon says it's a good idea to avoid the backcountry until the snow stabilizes and stick to the groomed runs at the resorts. He says anyone who does venture out needs to have the proper equipment. We could have snowy roads in the valleys for the first time this season, and UDOT is working to keep those roads clear. KSL News Radio's Britt Johnson has more.
John Gleason with UDOT says they're actually excited to dust off the plows and give them some use. Maintenance crews are ready to take a break from the road work they've been doing in the meantime, and unlike other years when crews are weary from storm after storm, they're well rested and fully stocked with road salt.
Gleason says they typically have to keep a close eye on their salt supply and make sure that they have orders for more if needed. This year, they haven't had to worry. We will talk to UDOT again coming up at 12:15 to get a look at the roads and how they are coping with the conditions this morning. First look traffic, though. Here's Michelle Rowe.
Good afternoon, Maria. We have a couple of crashes on US 89. One is northbound in Layton. The other is southbound in the South Weber area. Michelle Rowe in the KSL Traffic Center.
KSL News Time, 12:07.
Hi, I'm Utah tax attorney Jordan Wilcox. When the IRS invades your life, it's never good news. Keep in mind, it's not just you.
I owed roughly $34,000.
$61,000. When the IRS first contacted me, I was horrified.
When they start hounding you and harassing you and assaulting you.
Don't face the IRS alone. With everything in your life at stake, don't trust just anyone.
From what I got told was being done in a matter of 2 years, he had done in a matter of like 48 hours.
It's a great thing to have the IRS off your back.
We have reduced our tax liability by over $42,000.
Once I signed on with Jordan, I never talked to the IRS again.
It changed our lives.
You need someone to fight for you. Visit endtaxworry.com and get relief today. Let's solve your tax problems now. Visit endtaxworry.com. That's endtaxworry.com.
For over 75 years, Duke's Jewelers has been part of Utah Valley's story. Founded in 1948 by J. Melvin Duke, the Duke family has been helping yours celebrate life's biggest moments, generation after generation. Duke's is more than just a jewelry store. They're craftsmen. From repairing a treasured family heirloom to designing the custom engagement ring of your dreams, their expertise is trusted because it's been earned through decades of care, skill, and tradition. When you walk through the doors of Duke's Jewelry, you're not just a customer, you're part of the Duke's family. Because at Duke's, jewelry isn't just about sparkle, it's about legacy, memory, and love. Discover the difference of a family-owned jeweler where heritage meets craftsmanship. Duke's Jewelers, 220 South Main in Springville, or online at dukesjewelers.com. Duke's Jewelers, celebrating love, tradition, and community since 1948.
Thank you for joining us for Midday. We are awaiting a sentencing decision for Tyler Peterson right now. He is the older brother who pled guilty to child abuse that led to the death of his brother Gavin Peterson in West Haven 2 years ago. KSL News Time, 12:09. We are looking into a fire in Lehigh near 1500 North. Huge plumes of smoke can be seen in the area. No word from officials on the exact location or the cause. We have a reporter headed to the scene, and we will continue to bring you more details as we do get them. There's been a security incident on the west front of the U.S. Capitol. ABC's Stephen Portnoy has the latest from Washington.
Information remains scant, but in an alert to congressional staff, U.S. Capitol Police say officers have arrested a person with what appears to be a gun near the west front of the Capitol. That area is now blocked off, as are some of the surrounding streets. Authorities have pledged to provide more information as soon as it's confirmed.
Now, police say there does not appear to be an ongoing threat or other suspects. The Washington County Republican chair was released from jail after posting $10,000 in bail. David Nephi Johnson was in jail over allegations he abused a younger female family member with water torture. A protective order is in place prohibiting him from seeing that family member. He will be in court for a preliminary hearing in March. A West Jordan man is facing over a dozen charges accused of knocking an officer to the ground with his car during a traffic stop. KSL News Radio's McKenna Rodriguez reports.
Brandon Brett Calder was arrested on Friday. Court documents say Calder was stopped after a traffic violation when an officer asked him to step out of the vehicle. Police say Calder then drove off, throwing the officer who was standing between the door and the passenger seat to the ground. Police followed Calder in his vehicle, who showed no signs of slowing down or yielding. Calder was later taken into custody after exiting the vehicle and running away. Officers say they found a glass container with THC residue in the car and tinfoil with burnt residue. Calder has been charged for failing to stop at command of law enforcement, assault on police officer, and possession of controlled substances. McKenna Rodriguez, KSL News Radio.
We do have more breaking news here on KSL News Radio. Tyler Peterson, the brother of Gavin Peterson, has been sentenced to a minimum of 5 years to life in prison. The judge handed down the sentences of 5 to life, 1 to 15, and 1 to 15 years for the various crimes. He is being credited with time served and has the option of parole. The sentences will run concurrently, which means at the same time. A suspected drunk driver was arrested after driving the wrong way and hitting another car. Police documents say it was on I-80 in Parley's Canyon late Sunday. The victim tried to swerve out of the way, but the car came head-on and caused major damage to the driver's side door. They were taken to the hospital with several injuries. Traffic and weather together. It's brought to you by UCCU. Earn 4.44% on savings at uccu.com. Let's check in now with Michelle Rowe.
We have a couple of crashes in Davis County, both on US 89, one northbound at Antelope Drive off to the right. The other is southbound. This is blocking the left shoulder. This is at Carina Drive, so you want to use some caution going through that area. It is causing some slowdowns. Common Spirit hospitals, clinics, and caregivers all connected to advanced healthcare in Colorado, Kansas, and Utah. Healthcare with Human Kindness is here. Hello, Human Kindness. I'm Michelle Rowe in the KSL Traffic Center.
Forecast calls for rain, snow showers today, high of 47. Overnight, 34. Scattered snow showers likely. We'll then see a cold front Wednesday. 40 degrees the high, but snow in the valleys likely. Could see a few inches. From the KSL Weather Center, I'm Matt Johnson.
And we've seen a few snow flurries off and on here in downtown Salt Lake City. Right now, it's just mostly cloudy and 41 degrees. And still to come on Midday with Maria Shilaos. UDOT has their hands full with wet roads and more stormy conditions on the way. We'll check in with officials on what they are doing to keep people safe. That's coming up, streaming live at kslnewsradio.com and on the app for KSL News Radio. We are Utah's news, traffic, and weather station.
My friend Joey loves to use old familiar sayings.
You know what they say.
The problem is,
don't look at a gift horse, cause you can't make them drink.
He gets a lot of them mixed up.
People who live in glass houses,
here it comes,
shouldn't cry over spilt milk.
There are also a lot of sayings in the financial world, like, you'll pay lower taxes in retirement. But for many people, it's just not true. You may have done a great job saving in that 401k or IRA, but Uncle Sam is ready to grab a big portion of that money. The team at Galileo Wealth Management can help with strategies that you can start now to lower your tax bill in the future. More for you and less for Uncle Sam.
Or as they say, an apple a day is worth two in the bush.
Get the facts on your tax bill in retirement. Call Galileo Wealth today at 385-247-7000. It's 385-247-7000 or online at GalileoWealth.com.
And remember, a stitch in time keeps the doctor away. Does, you know.
At Fisher Investments, we may seem like other money managers, but we're different.
What makes you so different than the rest of us?
We ensure clients receive unparalleled service at every step of the relationship.
Tell me more.
Our investment counselors focus on service over sales, prioritizing clients' needs.
How do you make money?
We don't sell any commission-based products. We have a simple management fee based on the value of our clients' portfolio. So we do better when our clients do better.
What about client portfolios?
We get to know each client, their finances, family, health, lifestyle, and more, and then we tailor a portfolio based on their specific goals and needs.
Your clients really come first then, huh?
Yes, we make them a top priority. Our goal is helping them achieve a comfortable retirement.
Wow, maybe we are different.
At Fisher Investments, we're clearly different. Learn more at FisherInvestments.com.
Investing in securities involves the risk of loss.
A warning on cryptocurrency kiosk scams from AARP Utah. Scammers are getting smarter, and Utahns are paying the price. Criminals are using cryptocurrency ATMs to commit fraud. stealing people's retirement savings and costing Utahns millions of dollars a year. Many scams start with an unexpected call, text, or email from someone claiming to be a trusted source, like your bank, a business you use, or even law enforcement. They'll tell you there's an urgent problem and instruct you to take cash to a crypto kiosk or ATM. They may even stay on the phone pressuring you to act fast and keep it secret. But once you feed cash into a crypto ATM, it's converted to cryptocurrency and sent to the scammer's wallet, and it can be almost impossible to recover. Remember, no legitimate organization will ever ask you to pay with cryptocurrency. Learn more at the rising cost of cryptocurrency scams by visiting aarp.org/UT. A message paid for by AARP Utah.
KSL News Time 12:16. The three things you need to know this hour. First,
Tyler Peterson, the brother of Gavin Peterson, has been sentenced to a minimum of 5 years to life behind bars for his role in the abuse and starvation of his brother in West Haven. I'm KSL News Radio's Heather Peterson.
Second, snowy weather this morning and wind overnight are just a taste of what's to come as the second round of this storm moves in overnight. Third, traffic and weather together, Michelle.
We have a crash southbound US 89 causing some delays. This is at Carina Drive. Michelle Rowe in the KSL Traffic Center.
Rain, snow showers today with valley snow likely tomorrow. I'm Matt Johnson.
Right now, mostly cloudy and 41 degrees at the KSL Common Spirit Health Studios. Time now for KSL's top national stories.
From ABC News, I'm Michelle Franzen. In Arizona, the search for Nancy Guthrie continues after police say she was kidnapped more than 2 weeks ago from her Tucson home. The Pima County Sheriff's Department today says there was no DNA match in the FBI's nationwide database from a glove found approximately 2 miles from her home. There is additional DNA evidence still found at the residence that's also being analyzed. ABC's Alex Stone is in Tucson with more.
We also just heard from the sheriff talking to our local affiliate. He says that they don't know a motive. They now have 40,000 tips that have come in. The 2 men detained in the past week, he doesn't think that they were involved, but they still have more investigating to do.
A federal judge has again ruled that ICE cannot take Kilmar Abrego Garcia back into custody. He's the man the Trump administration mistakenly sent to El Salvador and then brought him back to face federal human smuggling charges in Tennessee.
Judge Paula Sinise ruled late last year that the government had not properly arranged for Kilmar Abrego Garcia's deportation, and she ordered him released from detention. The judge has now converted her temporary order from December into an injunction. In court papers, the administration has suggested it might send Abrego Garcia to Africa, where he's never lived. The judge says that has amounted to one empty threat after another. And for now, she says, there's no legal basis for him to be held in ICE custody.
ABC's Stephen Portnoy. Condolences pouring in for the Reverend Jesse Jackson. The civil rights leader died today at the age of 84. Jackson was considered a protege of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. and went on to form a nonprofit Operation Push to advocate for Black Americans' rights. He also ran for president twice in the 1980s and was a mentor to the Reverend Al Sharpton, who remembered him today.
Jesse was born out of wedlock. He taught me, his slogan was, I am somebody. It's not how you're born, it's where you go with it. So he made me believe even a kid on welfare in Brownsville, Brooklyn, could be somebody.
On Wall Street today, markets are up and trading. You're listening to ABC News.
Time now for the KSL In-Depth. The roads have been slick this morning as rain and snow hammer the area, and it's going to continue tonight. UDOT spokesperson John Gleason joins me. And John, this is a first for the season. We're actually talking about snow in the valley.
That's right, Maria. It's a little bit of a late start, mid to late February, having our first chance for road snow to stick down here in the valleys. But that's the winter that we've had so far.
We have. So what have we been seeing on the roads from the first round of these storms that came through?
Well, the big trouble spot this morning was US 189 Provo Canyon. We had multiple crashes from Provo to Heber, and about an hour travel time as well from the bottom to the top there. A few slide-offs in Parley's Canyon, and then we had the wind restrictions on I-80 out in the West Desert that lasted about 13 hours. So a little bit of a precursor to tomorrow morning, where we'll get some heavier snow and again that first chance of road snow to stick down here on the valley floors.
So what do you guys do to prepare for storms like these?
Well, the fortunate thing about not having a lot of these storms is that we have a very, our stockpile of salt is there. Our crews are well rested. The equipment doesn't have a lot of wear and tear, so we're ready to go. And we're going to be out there all night doing the pre-treatments and just, clearing the roads as the snow falls. But it really is, so many of us are rusty and from having the opportunity to drive in these conditions. You just want to give yourself some extra time as you leave tomorrow morning. Check the forecast, know what you're getting into, make sure that your vehicle is ready to go and that you're focused on the road.
Yeah, that's a good word, rusty. Does that make it even more dangerous when we finally do see some of this wet weather?
Well, this is what we would consider an early season storm where so many people are just kind of reacclimating to it, but it's happening later in the season. But it holds true that we're probably going to see more crashes tomorrow as a result of people just driving too fast for the conditions. So as you're heading out tomorrow morning, just make yourself that promise that you're going to slow down. Even if you're driving on what appears to be black pavement, there could still be those icy patches out there. So give yourself extra time, slow it down. It doesn't make any sense to drive freeway speeds tomorrow morning.
All right, John, thanks so much for your time.
Thanks, Maria.
Joining me live on the KSL Newsline, that is UDOT spokesperson John Gleason, preparing us for tomorrow morning where we are going to see some snow down here in the valleys. And we did see some slushy kind of snow up kind of on the benches, but maybe some real snow on the valley road. So be prepared for that. Give yourself some extra time. Traffic and weather, it's brought to you by UCCU. Direct deposit gets you $300. Love where you bank. What are we seeing on the roads right now, Michelle?
Looking at some trouble. This is southbound US 89. This is just south of the I-84 Highway 89 interchange. They did have to block all lanes of travel for just a couple of minutes to get the crash over to the right from the left. So you're seeing some solid slowdowns as you're headed southbound through that area. Still working on the crash northbound US 89. This is at Antelope Drive. Michelle Rowe in the KSL Traffic Center.
KSL 7-day forecast. You got 47 degrees today, rain, snow, showers. Tomorrow, snow likely, even down to the valley floor, 40 degrees. 36, partly cloudy, will take a break Thursday. Friday back at it with a chance for snow showers, 35. Temperatures top in the 40s, low 40s that is on Saturday. Partly cloudy skies, mixture of sunshine and clouds as we head through the weekend with warming temperatures. From the KSL Weather Center, I'm Matt Johnson.
And right now it's mostly cloudy in downtown Salt Lake City and 41 degrees. The 7-day forecast is brought to you by Performance Automotive Bountiful. Quick check of the markets at this hour, and yes, I'm seeing positive numbers with both the Dow and the NASDAQ up by more than 100 points. Complete update of your money news is next.
Every day here in Utah, people turn to KSL News Radio for one simple reason: trust. Trust for our reporters, hosts, our coverage, and trust in the businesses heard right here. I've met so many of our listeners over the years, and they'll tell you KSL is part of their daily routine, in the car, at work, at home. And when they hear your business here, it carries the weight of that trust. It isn't just another ad. It's a recommendation coming from a reliable source. When you advertise on KSL News Radio, you reach a loyal, highly engaged audience who listens intentionally. They show up for breaking news, accurate information, and meaningful conversations. And because of that connection, they respond. And when you pair our on-air credibility with digital tools like display advertising, social media, streaming audio, search, geo-targeting, and retargeting, you get a full funnel strategy that works and reaches the right people at the right time. Get marketing that truly moves the needle. Partner with the voice Utah trusts. KSL. Learn more at kslnewsradio.com/advertise.
Be advised, this is your opportunity to save up to 40 to 80% on a hot tub or swim spa this weekend only. Friday through Sunday, Mountain America Expo Center, Sandy. Be advised, this is your opportunity to save up to 40 to 80% on a hot tub or swim spa this weekend only. Friday through Sunday, Mountain America Expo Center, Sandy. 18-month interest-free financing. Our factories have demanded we sell 1,000 hot tubs and swim spas this weekend. Mountain America Expo Center, Sandy. Huge factory incentives, factory rebates this weekend only. Mountain America Expo Center, Sandy. We can remove your old hot tub. Free delivery of your new hot tub. Deep, deep discounts. Mountain America Expo Center, Sandy. Free delivery of your new hot tub. Just relax and enjoy. Mountain America Expo Center, Sandy. Friday, 2 p.m. to 8 p.m. Saturday, 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. Sunday, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Free admission, free parking, free delivery. Mountain America Expo Center, Sandy. Call 833-SPA-SALE or visit HotTubAndSwimSpaSale.com.
You know, it's frustrating. It really is. You work your tail off for 40-plus years. The government takes 30 or 40% in taxes. Then they turn around and they waste your money. Americans are getting fed up, rightfully so. And that's why they're taking advantage of tax planning. Tax planning could significantly reduce your taxes, not just for 1 year, but for the rest of your life. Learn how much you could save in taxes when you retire with a free retirement tax savings analysis from Boss Retirement Solutions. If you've saved more than $300,000, schedule your free analysis now by calling 801-896-9622. Don't pay the government one more dime than you need to. Call today, 801-896-9622. That number again, 801-896-9622.
For informational purposes only, actual results may vary. No statement contained herein shall constitute tax, legal, or investment advice.
Netflix's new docuseries about Tyra Banks' show, America's Next Top Model, is now out.
I haven't really said much, but now it's time.
It shows exactly what happened behind the scenes of the show and problems stemming from it. Several models featured say they now struggle with self-esteem and self-worth issues, along with several who claim that they have developed eating disorders. It's 3 episodes long and has commentary and stories from past judges and contestants. Watching Utah's Money, Netflix is giving Warner Brothers Discovery a week to figure out some stuff. In the next 7 days, Warner Brothers will be in talks with Paramount Skydance to explore deficiencies in its offer to buy the entire company. Right now, it already has a deal with Netflix pending. Japan wants to ship carbon emissions to Malaysia in a first-of-its-kind project in Southeast Asia for carbon capture and storage. Supporters of the widely debated process say that it's a key to curbing climate change. Utah Valley University has been ranked as one of the most affordable online universities. It's the second year in a row that the school has received some national recognition. Online U also recognized Southern Utah University and Weber State as more affordable education options. And taking a look at your money at this moment, the Dow is up by 145 points, more than 0.25%, sitting at 49,638. S&P up by 25 points. The NASDAQ up by about 0.5%, up 113 points. Join KSL News Radio on the Movie Show crew this Friday from 10 to 1 at My Hearing Center's 8941 South 700 East, Suite 203 in Sandy.
This weekly tax tip is brought to you by the Utah Association of Certified Public Accountants. Here's CEO Susan Spears.
If you're 65 years or older, there's a new tax break heading your way for the 2026 filing season. It's called the Senior Bonus Deduction. Seniors will get an extra $6,000 deduction on top of the standard deduction. If you're married and you're both 65 plus, that's a $12,000 bonus off your taxable income. So let's do the math. A single senior gets to take the standard deduction of $15,750, the existing age bump of $2,000, and the new senior bonus of $6,000. That's almost $24,000 of income the IRS cannot touch. However, there are income phase-outs.
Get the most out of your income tax preparation when you hire a licensed CPA. Visit uacpa.org to find a CPA that's right for you. And check out new tax tip videos by following on social media at Talk to Your CPA.
Traffic and weather together. It's brought to you by UCCU. Up to $500 for loan transfers. Love where you bank. Here's Michelle Rowe.
They're working on getting these crashes cleared on US 89. The southbound crash at Carina Drive, that is still causing a little bit more slowing than the northbound at Antelope Drive, but it is improving overall. Michelle Rowe in the KSL Traffic Center.
Hey, calling for a high of 47 degrees today. Rain, snow showers possible. 34 overnight. We've got snow showers likely on Wednesday, 40 degrees. From the KSL Weather Center, I'm Matt Johnson.
Right now, mostly cloudy and 41 degrees downtown.
You're listening to Midday with Maria Shilaos
on KSL News Radio, 102.7 FM and 1160 AM.
Good afternoon. KSL News Time 1230. KSL's top story this hour. Student protests over immigration enforcement have been spreading across Utah, from walkouts at high schools to demonstrations at college job fairs. Today, that lands at Salt Lake Community College, where students are rallying against ICE recruiters there. KSL News Radio's Eric Cabrera has been following that story for us. And Eric, tell us more.
Maria, student organizer Olivia Marin says she found out Border Patrol would be recruiting at today's job fair and called the president's office for confirmation. She says instead of getting a clear answer, she was transferred.
They weren't able to answer any of my questions, and then they directly transferred me to quote unquote like public safety, aka the highway patrol.
Marin says she's met with administrators multiple times since then, but feels the school is focused on containing the situation, not meeting students in the middle. She says the school told her they're expected to stay neutral when it comes to employers at job fairs. Immigration attorney Carlos Trujillo says students have every right to protest, and he says he's grateful Utahns are speaking up, but he also cautions against trying to ban agencies from recruiting.
I don't think that it serves any purpose to the freedom that the United States of America stands for, and as much as we may dislike the way that they're doing their job right now, they do have a job to do.
We've reached out to Slick for comment and have yet to hear back. Live, Eric Cabrera, KSL News Radio.
KSL's top national stories. A Maryland-based federal judge has again ruled that ICE can't take Kilmar Abrego Garcia back into custody. He's the man the Trump administration mistakenly sent to El Salvador, then brought back to face federal human smuggling charges in Tennessee. He's now with his family in Maryland as that case is still pending.
Judge Paula Sinise ruled late last year that the government had not properly arranged for Kilmar Abrego Garcia's deportation, and she ordered him released from detention. The judge has now converted her temporary order from December into an injunction. In court papers, the administration has suggested it might send Abrego Garcia to Africa, where he's never lived. The judge says that has amounted to one empty threat after another. And for now, she says, there's no legal basis for him to be held in ICE custody.
That is ABC's Stephen Portnoy reporting. No movement on ending the partial government shutdown. Homeland Security is one of the agencies affected by the shutdown, although ICE was funded when the big, beautiful bill was passed. More from ABC's Karen Travers at the White House.
DHS workers are right now on the job, about 90% of them. They're just working without pay. They did get a paycheck last week, so really the crunch might not be felt until that missed paycheck, if this continues now for the next week and a half. That's when you might start to see a bit more sense of urgency.
Lawmakers have the week off, but President Trump has signaled that he's willing to talk to Democrats. Utah lawmakers are cracking down on police departments still using quota systems. KSL News Radio's Alexandria Bonilla reports.
Quota or point systems have been outlawed since 2018, but now lawmakers are looking to give that bill some teeth.
We want law enforcement officers to be enforcing the laws. We just don't want them to be writing extra tickets because they have some type of artificial number that they have to meet.
Sponsor Senator Todd Weiler says the bill would establish a penalty for departments who still use quotas, disqualifying them from getting state grants. Those in favor of these quotas say it's to keep officers productive and working. But Weiler says there are better ways to make sure officers are doing their jobs. Alexandria Bonilla, KSL News Radio.
We have an update on the effort to repeal Prop 4 today. Salt Lake County Clerk's office has confirmed that they received more than 1,600 packets before Sunday's deadline. No confirmation, though, yet on how many verified signatures are in those packets. Signature gatherers had to collect about 141,000 signatures from 8% of the voters in 26 of Utah's 29 Senate districts in order to repeal the law that dictates the process for redistricting. A House bill that would essentially allow high school students to transfer between schools and play sports without restrictions was pulled from the agenda of a House committee hearing this morning. KSL's Amy Donaldson was at the hearing and says that there were coaches and parents ready to testify against that bill.
The bill, which would basically take away any kind of transfer rule or restriction for students, and it also eliminated the need for a school to certify bullying. So one of the loopholes in transferring has been that if a kid is suffering from bullying and the sending school verifies it, they get to transfer. Right now, this sponsor of this bill wants to eliminate that.
We will let you know if House Bill 360 is brought back up in committee, and we will have the arguments from both sides. First look traffic, and here's Michelle Rowe.
Still working on these crashes on US 89, one northbound at Antelope Drive, the other southbound just south of the US 89, I-84 junction. Michelle Rowe in the KSL Traffic Center.
KSL News Time, 12:35.
This is Jeff Stout with Fink and McGregor, Mortgages Made Simple. Let's talk conventional versus FHA loans. Both offer cash-out refinances up to 80% loan-to-value or LTV, so which is best for you? It's kind of like Uber and Lyft. I always compare the two before booking a ride. Conventional loans don't have mortgage insurance under 80% LTV. However, the rates and costs get higher with lower credit scores, cash-out, and high LTVs. FHA loans always have mortgage insurance, but the rates are lower, they don't penalize you for cash out and high LTV loans, and they allow for higher debt-to-income ratios. FHA often results in lower payment even with mortgage insurance. We can analyze your situation within minutes. Call us today. Fink and McGregor, Mortgages Made Simple, 801-264-9494. That's 264-9494. Or on the web at finkmcgregor.com. NMLS 289115.
Cashback is not available on gas in New Jersey and Wisconsin.
Couponing. Wow, you didn't strike me as the coupon type.
Just trying to stay ahead of inflation. Gas, groceries, everything. It's all more expensive. I need to save wherever I can.
Have you tried Upside yet?
Upside? What's that?
It's a free app that I use that pays cash back for every gallon of gas I buy. You've got to buy gas to get around anyway. Might as well get paid for it.
Come on, does that really add up to anything?
I've already made around $200. The extra cash helped pay down my bills, and I even had a little extra left to treat myself.
And the Upside app is free?
Totally free, and the cash back is real. You can transfer the cash right to your bank account.
I'm downloading Upside right now.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code ENJOY to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, to PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code ENJOY for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code ENJOY for a 25 cents per gallon bonus.
Any Hour Services can help you make sure your furnace keeps you warm this winter. Whether you need a tune-up, a repair, or a second opinion about replacing it, call Any Hour Services or visit anyhourservices.com.
Thank you for joining us for Midday. Recapping our top story this half hour. Utah lawmakers are cracking down on police departments still using quotas for ticketing. There's a new bill that would disqualify departments who still use the system from getting state funding. KSL News Time, 12:38. Tooele County is reporting its first confirmed case of measles.
A letter from the Tooele County Health Department says a student at Sandsbury High School was exposed during a multi-district school event outside of Tooele County. The letter warns parents and others that the student did attend classes at Sandsbury High while contagious with the disease, but before symptoms began. The letter says the parents of other students who may have been exposed have been notified. Nearly 275 cases of measles have been reported in Utah since this outbreak began. Don Brinkerhoff, KSL News Radio.
A group of people in Cache County are getting preventative anthrax treatments after coming into contact with an infected cow at Utah State. KSL News Radio's Brianna Willis has more.
The infected cow came from Idaho. It had died and was taken to the Utah State University Veterinary Diagnostic Laboratory to figure out what had happened to it. The test found the cow had died from anthrax, and anyone who had direct contact with the cow has been told to take antibiotics and get an anthrax vaccine. The Bear River Health Department says the anthrax was naturally occurring and the cow had picked it up from the soil.
Anthrax cannot be spread from person to person, and it is rare that humans get it from animals. A clinic opening this month will provide care for the uninsured in Utah County.
Bingham Family Clinic Executive Director Shirley Woodward says we have a lot of hardworking Utahns who are uninsured and can't get the care they need.
Do I pay for rent or do I pay for a doctor's appointment?
So local college students and a free clinic are helping bridge the gap.
Utah happens to be in the low numbers of free clinics that are offered throughout the state. There's just a great need for clinics like this, and we happen to be in a great location because we're surrounded by wonderful universities.
The clinic, located on UVU's campus and opens up this month, is able to provide free services for people who can't afford health insurance but don't qualify for government assistance by using local college students who need volunteer hours or clinical rotations. Britt Johnson, KSL News Radio.
A deadline for western states to come up with a new water sharing plan for the Colorado River has passed. The old plan had states splitting up around 15 million acre-feet of water each year, but since the year 2000, the river flows have been a lot less than that. If a compromise isn't reached by this summer, the federal government will have to step in and make its own plan. Traffic and weather together. It's brought to you by UCCU. Earn 4.44% on savings at uccu.com. Let's get the latest on those trouble spots. Here's Michelle Rowe.
A heads up for drivers, Maria, that this is US 189 Provo Canyon. You're going to see below normal speeds between the Sundance turnoff and Heber City. Now, again, they're still working on the two crashes on US 89 up in Davis County. Northbound at Antelope Drive off to the right, southbound off to the right as well, just south of the I-84 Highway 89 interchange. While you're planning for your day, plan for comfort too with the Good Feet store. Find the location nearest you at goodfeet.com. I'm Michelle Rowe in the KSL Traffic Center.
Calling for highs to top out in the mid and upper 40s today. Still a little bit breezy. And of course, some rain, snow showers possible. Overnight, 34 degrees. We've got mostly cloudy skies and some snow showers definitely in the mix. Snow likely on Wednesday, 40 degrees the high, and we will likely see accumulating snowfall with a few inches. From the KSL Weather Center, I'm Matt Johnson.
Mostly cloudy, 43 degrees in downtown Salt Lake City. And coming up on Midday, civil rights leader Jesse Jackson has died at the age of 84. We'll hear more from the NAACP on the in-depth about his impact. That's coming up, streaming live at KSLNewsRadio.com and on the app for KSL News Radio. We are Utah's news, traffic, and weather station.
Kitchen and bath transformations start with AMC Building Materials. AMC Building Materials is a large kitchen cabinet and countertop supplier serving both wholesale and retail customers. AMC offers factory direct pricing on all interior remodeling materials, giving you exceptional value without sacrificing quality. Most standard items are available for quick payment and pickup right away. AMC Building Materials provides professional service, free design, and free on-site measurements, along with expert installation by top AMC professionals. From bold kitchen designs to beautiful functional bathrooms, AMC delivers outstanding value with styles you'll love. And best of all, most projects can be completed within just 10 days. Come experience beauty you can see, quality you can feel, and service you can trust. Get directions to the new AMC Building Materials showroom at 3678 South 700 West today and schedule your free estimate. Visit amckitchenslc.org. That's amckitchenslc.org.
With Progressive's Name Your Price tool, you can choose the best coverage option for you. Because you know you. Like, you know you can't cook. You're not one of those people who say that they can, but when people come over for dinner, they find out the hard way, you can't. You can't even microwave popcorn, and that's literally just one button. Plus, measuring and patience are huge parts of cooking, and that's just not you. Only you know you. So get coverage options within your budget with Progressive's Name Your Price tool. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Pricing coverage match limited by state law.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm, and Chuck McDowell definitely not an attorney. This is Chuck. If someone talked you into buying something really silly and you want to get out of that silly little thing, my advice, get the facts. Call me and I'll send you our timeshare exit kit absolutely free. Inside, you'll learn how timeshare works and all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your free exit info kit. 800-290-7100. That's 800-290-7100.
You served behind the desk.
You served in combat.
You did 4 years and got out.
You were drafted.
You gave 20 years.
You gave exactly what your country needed.
And so did you.
When you raised your hand and swore an oath to your country, when you put your name on a dotted line, you became part of only 1% of Americans who did the same. You are a veteran.
You are a veteran.
You are a veteran. Because no matter when, where, or how you served, you made a sacrifice for your country, and you deserve support.
If you're struggling with life after service, don't wait. Reach out.
Reach out to a loved one, to a fellow veteran, to VA.
Find resources at va.gov/reach.
Brought to you by the United States Department of Veterans Affairs and the Ad Council.
KSL News Time, 1245. The three things you need to know this hour. First,
Salt Lake Community College students are protesting Border Patrol recruiting at a job fair, part of a broader wave of Utah campus walkouts over whether schools can stay neutral when some students feel unsafe. I'm KSL News Radio's Eric Cabrera.
Second, the older brother of Gavin Peterson, who died from severe abuse and neglect, has been given the maximum sentence for his role in Gavin's death. Tyler Peterson will spend 5 years to life in prison. Third, traffic and weather together, Michelle.
Still working on these two crashes on US 89, one at Antelope Drive, the other at the I-84 Highway 89 junction. Michelle Rowe in the KSL Traffic Center.
Much more active weather in place this week. I'm Matt Johnson.
Mostly cloudy, 43 degrees at the KSL Common Spirit Health Studios. Time now for KSL's top national story.
ABC News, I'm Michelle Franzen. In Arizona, investigators say DNA samples from a glove found near the home of Nancy Guthrie did not match anyone in the FBI nationwide database, and a motive authorities say for the kidnapping remains unclear. ABC's Alex Stone is in Tucson.
They did not get a hit on that glove. Now, this glove, you remember, it was unlikely it was involved in the crime anyway. It was 2 miles away from here. They have found a number of black gloves. In fact, our team even found a black glove yesterday while we were out in the desert area that apparently searchers have taken them off. There are homeless that might have them on and take them off when they're around. So this is hitting a wall now in that.
The Reverend Jesse Jackson died today at the age of 84. The civil rights activist and former presidential candidate was a protege of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. He later created the Rainbow Push Coalition, expanding voter access for blacks and minorities. Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem confirming top DHS spokesperson Tricia McLaughlin will leave the department next week.
Time now for the KSL In-Depth. Civil rights icon Jesse Jackson died early this morning. He was an activist, Baptist minister, and two-time presidential candidate. President of the NAACP Tri-State Conference of Idaho, Nevada, and Utah, Janetta Williams reflected on her experience with him on a more personal level.
He was different when he was just in a small group of people, but he was still a voice to be reckoned with. He talked about the need and the way that we need to move things forward, and in history. And in fact, the last time that he was in Salt Lake more than just this last time in February 2023 for the All-Star Game NBA. That was the last time that I had talked to him. But I knew that he was ill, and he had been ill for some time now, but of course, we were praying that he would be getting better. But he was, when he talked to him just individually, his vision never changed. He was always wanting to make sure that everybody had the rights, and rights wasn't being just overlooked, because he was in that fight with Dr. King, and so he knew what it meant to make sure that when he talked about voting rights, when he talked about economic development, when he talked about housing, that all of those things are important, and especially talk about jobs.
She says one thing he did was keep hope alive.
I think what we need to take away is that his ability to reach out to all people, all walks of life, and to trying to make a difference, trying to let everybody know that you are somebody, and to make sure that we don't just do things for ourselves, but we do things for other people, and try to make sure that we're bringing along even the young people and making sure that, we encourage them to register and vote, and also to get involved. And I think the young people today are getting more involved, or as involved as years past, because, we saw the walkouts a couple of weeks ago. And so they're more aware, and we like that. We want them to continue doing those type of things. And so I think the remembrance that I would like people to know about Dr. Jackson, Reverend Jackson, is that he cared, and he had a voice of reason.
Jackson was 84 years old. Traffic and weather together. It's brought to you by UCCU. Direct deposit gets you $300. Love where you bank. What's happening, Michelle?
Looking at winter conditions for drivers up US 189 Provo Canyon, this is stretching between the Sundance turnoff all the way up into the Heber City area. So you'll want to use some caution going through that area. The earlier delays on US 89, those have cleared. The crashes are also gone as well. Arrive in style for all of life's events, from the first suit to the first dance, preparing to serve, or starting a life together. Every age, every milestone, for nearly 60 years, Mr. Mack helping you look your best for all of life's events. I'm Michelle Rowe in the KSL Traffic Center.
KSL 7-day forecast. I got 47 dialed up for today. Rain, snow, showers. 40 tomorrow, snow likely. Partly cloudy and 36 dry. It's a bye day Thursday. Friday, we've got 35 with a chance for snow showers. And it looks like things dry out generally with 40s over the weekend and partly cloudy skies. From the KSL Weather Center, I'm Matt Johnson.
Mostly cloudy in downtown Salt Lake City and 43 degrees. The 7-day forecast is brought to you by Performance Automotive Bountiful. Quick check of the markets at this hour, and they are still in positive territory. A complete update of your money news is coming up next.
Be advised, this is your opportunity to save up to 40 to 80% on a hot tub or swim spa. This weekend only, Friday through Sunday, Mountain America Expo Center, Sandy. Be advised, this is your opportunity to save up to 40 to 80% on a hot tub or swim spa. This weekend only, Friday through Sunday, Mountain America Expo Center, Sandy. 18-month interest-free financing. Our factories have demanded we sell 1,000 hot tubs and swim spas this weekend. Mountain America Expo Center, Sandy. Huge factory incentives, factory rebates, this weekend only. Mountain America Expo Center, Sandy. We can remove your old hot tub. Free delivery of your new hot tub. Deep, deep discounts. Mountain America Expo Center, Sandy. Free delivery of your new hot tub. Just relax and enjoy. Mountain America Expo Center, Sandy. Friday, 2 p.m. to 8 p.m. Saturday, 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. Sunday, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Free admission, free parking, free delivery. Mountain America Expo Center, Sandy. Call 833-SPA-SALE or visit hottubandSwimSpaSale.com.
Hi, this is Derek Overstreet, president of the New Millennium Group and co-host of Stop Working, Start Living with KSL News Radio. Can you imagine what your life would be like if you could retire 3 to 5 years earlier than you thought possible? The things you could do, the loved ones you could spend time with, the memories that you could create. That's what our team at the New Millennium Group does. We'll walk you through the entire process every step of the way. If you'd like to get a copy of the 5-step proprietary plan that will help you retire 3 to 5 years sooner than you thought possible, give us a shout right now. 888-999-6370. That's 888-999-6370 or utahsfinancialplanner.com. Listen, most of our listeners right now have a tax problem, not a money problem. There's not enough money in Social Security Medicare as it is. Let us show you how you can significantly reduce your taxes. That's 888-999-6370. 888-999-6370 or utahsfinancialplanner.com.
Gold demand is skyrocketing to record highs. As more Americans rush to preserve their savings, will there be enough gold? I'm Dr. Ron Paul, and I believe physical gold is the only way to truly protect your 401k or IRA savings. Gold offers tangible security that can't be tracked, stolen, or inflated. That's why I strongly advocate for gold IRAs. To learn more, text the word SECURE to 989898 now. Birch Gold Group will send you a free info kit on gold IRAs. Birch Gold is the only gold company I trust, and their thousands of great reviews prove I'm not alone. So don't wait another second. Protect your retirement savings today and see how easy it is to move your IRA or 401k into physical precious metals. Text SECURE to the number 989898 for your free gold IRA info kit. Again, SECURE to 989898.
Message and data rates may apply.
Today is Lunar New Year, and it's celebrated in lots of ways, especially at a zoo in Chicago.
Chicago's Lincoln Park Zoo saying hello to Chi, a 7-year-old adult male red panda. He's getting to know his new surroundings, especially Nisha, his habitat mate. Yes, she's a female adult red panda, and yes, the hope is that they will mate, even in this year of the fire horse, which we've just entered. Red pandas are an endangered species from East Asia and the Himalayas, where it gets very cold, just like in Chicago. Even though Chi didn't travel from there, he came from the Prospect Park Zoo in Brooklyn, New York. Sherry Preston, ABC News.
Watching Utah's Money, it's Mardi Gras season, and today is Fat Tuesday. Forbes reports at least 750,000 king cakes are sold in just New Orleans. That's the circular sweetbread topped with purple, green, and yellow sprinkles. There's a little baby Jesus figure hidden inside, and whoever gets it has to buy the next cake. St. George is growing so much, in fact, it has become a two Costco city. Second store is set to open next month. Right now, the gas station is already operating. Packaging and logistic warehouses are automating their processes. CNBC reports UPS, FedEx, and DHL are all including more automation and machinery to increase efficiency and lower costs. And taking a look at your money at this moment, the Dow up 115 points, sitting at 49,615. S&P up by 25. NASDAQ up by 122 points.
When Team USA is on, you can almost see the moment a kid starts believing they could be next. Now, while Xfinity can't guarantee that, they can guarantee something just as important, that your internet price won't change for 5 years. No contracts or commitments, so while your kid is ordering gear online, streaming highlight reels, or video chatting, your Xfinity internet price won't budge. And who knows, by the time the next Olympic Winter Games roll around, your kid could be getting fitted for their very own Team USA uniform. And guess what? You'll still be paying the same price for reliable Wi-Fi. And there's even more to enjoy with the Xfinity Gold Medal Celebration. Now through February 22nd, get their best price on gig Wi-Fi for 5 years guaranteed. Just $50 a month, plus get Peacock Premium included for 2 years. That's a $10.99 monthly value. Xfinity. Imagine that. Proud partner of Team USA. Restrictions apply. Requires paperless billing and auto pay with stored bank account. Taxes and fees extra. Actual speeds vary.
What's better than a credit card with low interest? How about one with no interest? For a limited time, when you open a new America First Visa credit card, you'll enjoy 0% APR for the first 6 months. Transfer your balances from higher rate cards to your new America First card to consolidate debt and potentially save yourself a lot of money. That's 0 interest for 6 months. Interested? Then hurry to americafirst.com to apply today. Introductory variable annual percentage rate is subject to membership, eligibility, terms, creditworthiness, change, and conditions. Other limits and requirements may apply. Federally insured by NCUA. Equal opportunity lender.
If you've been disappointed by underachieving savings, a high-yield certificate from America First can be a fantastic way to help your money start doing more. Whether you're planning for an upcoming expense or just want to save smarter and earn bigger, America First's flexible certificates are an outstanding way to grow your cash. So don't wait to get your money working. Head to americafirst.com and open a high-yield certificate today. Membership eligibility, terms, conditions, and change apply. Fees could reduce account earnings. Federally insured by NCUA.
Respiratory virus season is quickly approaching, meaning we'll see more flu, COVID, and RSV in our community. The good news is vaccines are available that will help prevent these infections and keep people healthy. For flu and COVID, everyone aged 6 months and older are recommended to be vaccinated to help protect ourselves and our families against serious illness. Fall remains the best time to be vaccinated. Respiratory viruses circulate year-round, but peak late fall through winter. Your doctor can recommend which vaccines are best for you and your family.
Brought to you by Intermountain Health and KSL News Radio.
So, you want to be a hero. Here are some ways to get the job. Hunt down that killer shark. Or run into a burning house to save a kitten. Luckily, there's an easier way to become a hero. Call 911 if you see someone experiencing the symptoms of stroke, sudden weakness on one side, or trouble speaking, walking, or seeing. Stroke. Know the signs. Act in time. You'll be a real hero. A message from the National Institute of Neurological Disorders and Stroke.
Traffic and weather together. It's brought to you by UCCU. Up to $500 for loan transfers. Love where you bank. What's going on, Michelle?
You can expect winter conditions up Big and Little Cottonwood Canyons as well as Provo Canyon. It's getting really dicey again right around Deer Creek Reservoir. And a fresh crash 3300 West, 2400 South. Michelle Rowe in the KSL Traffic Center.
And we still have a good chance of showers across the Wasatch Front this afternoon into this evening. About an 80% chance of a rain-snow mix. Tomorrow, 100% chance of snow showers. Tomorrow's high dropping down to 40 degrees and then even cooler on Thursday and Friday. We're going to get down into the 30s for those days and still a good chance of showers both Thursday, Friday, and then a slight chance on Saturday. Today's high 47 right now, 41 degrees in downtown Salt Lake City. And looking at some of the other area temperatures in Ogden, 37, St. George, the warm spot at 55, Moab 50, and in Park City, 27 degrees.
KSL FM Midvale.
KSL Salt Lake City.
From the KSL Common Spirit Health Studios, this is KSL News Radio.
Utah's news, traffic, and weather station.
A bit of closure today in the homicide of 12-year-old Gavin Peterson, who died due to neglect and abuse in 2024. Within the last hour, his older brother was sentenced for his role in Gavin's death. He was the last family member awaiting sentencing for the crime.
Tyler Peterson sentenced to a minimum of 5 years to life behind bars. The judge handing down several sentences for the various crimes. Tyler will receive credit for time served and has the option of parole.
The time is 1 o'clock on Tuesday, February 17th. It's midday. I'm Maria Shilaos. Coming up, the sentencing brings to a close one of the most watched child abuse cases in recent memory, a case that also brought scrutiny against Utah's Division of Child and Family Services. Also this hour, several bills on Utah's Capitol Hill could affect the future of high school sports in Utah. One bill pulled from the committee agenda just this morning
would basically take away any kind of transfer rule or restriction for students, and it also eliminated the need for a school to certify bullying.
A full breakdown of these bills coming up at 1:30. But first, our top stories. More on today's sentencing in the Gavin Peterson case. A judge has sentenced Gavin's older brother, Tyler Peterson, to 5 years to life in prison. Tyler Peterson previously pled guilty to participating in the brutal torture and starvation of his younger brother at their West Haven home, leading up to Gavin's death in July 2024. During today's hearing, Tyler's mother pleaded for him to live out the punishment under her care, but he was instead given the maximum sentence. We'll hear from our reporter in the courtroom in just a few minutes. Our top national story this hour. As the search for Nancy Guthrie is now in its third week, there was a widely anticipated announcement from the Pima County Sheriff on Tuesday afternoon. News Nation's Brian Enton has more.
He is saying that the DNA that was tested from the glove that was located 2 miles away from here, and really all DNA that they have tested so far with this case has not come back with a match in the CODIS database. And CODIS is, of course, the FBI database that has an enormous amount of DNA in it, mostly connected to known criminals.
The FBI is offering a $100,000 reward for information leading to an arrest in the case or the return of Guthrie. We are waiting for updates about what officials are calling a security incident near the U.S. Capitol building.
Information remains scant, but in an alert to congressional staff, U.S. Capitol Police say officers have arrested a person with what appears to be a gun near the west front of the Capitol. That area is now blocked off, as are some of the surrounding streets. Authorities have pledged to provide more information as soon as it's confirmed.
ABC News national correspondent Stephen Portnoy in Washington. Taking a look at your money at this moment, the Dow is up by 115 points, about 0.25%, sitting at 49,615. S&P up by 25. The Nasdaq up by 122 points. That's about 0.5%. Traffic and weather. It's brought to you by UCCU. Earn 4.44% on savings at UCCU.com. Here's Michelle Rowe.
Maria, I'm looking at all traffic stopped. This is US 189. I'd say the closest direction I can give you right now would be southbound for people that are trying to head down Provo Canyon. There's a van that looks like it's stalled out in slush, and all the cars behind it are just stopped. So you'll want to use some caution and be prepared for winter conditions up in that area. Common Spirit hospitals, clinics, and caregivers all connected to advanced healthcare in Colorado, Kansas, and Utah. Healthcare with Human Kindness is here. Hello, Human Kindness. I'm Michelle Rowe in the KSL Traffic Center.
A high today of 47 degrees and still a good chance of a rain-snow mix, about an 80% chance up to a 100% chance of snow tomorrow. Tomorrow's high only 40 degrees. Right now, 41 degrees at the KSL Common Spirit Health Studios.
The sources where we get our news matters.
When you listen to Utah's Morning News, we want you to feel the stories are important to you and trustworthy. This is Amanda Dixon.
And I'm Andy Farnsworth. Join us weekday mornings on KSL News Radio.
Cashback is not available on gas in New Jersey and Wisconsin.
Couponing. Wow, you didn't strike me as the coupon type.
Just trying to stay ahead of inflation. Gas, groceries, everything. It's all more expensive. I need to save wherever I can.
Have you tried Upside yet?
Upside? What's that?
It's a free app that I use that pays cash back for every gallon of gas I buy. You've got to buy gas to get around anyway. Might as well get paid for it.
Come on, does that really add up to anything?
I've already made around $200. The extra cash helped pay down my my bills, and I even had a little extra left to treat myself.
And the Upside app is free?
Totally free, and the cash back is real. You can transfer the cash right to your bank account.
I'm downloading Upside right now.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code ENJOY to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, to PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code ENJOY for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code ENJOY for a 25 cents per gallon bonus.
My friend Joey means well.
Always remember that the early bird gathers no moss.
But he gets a little confused.
You know, you can't make a silk purse out of a wooden nickel.
Like Joey, many of us can be confused when it comes time to plan for retirement. When to take Social Security, how to use that 401k, what about the stock market, taxes, and Medicare? Todd Kim at Galileo Wealth Management can help to simplify retirement planning. His goal is to have you walk into retirement with confidence, not worry, and to address the number one concern among retirees today, the fear of running out of money. Call Galileo Wealth today for a no-cost, no-obligation meeting to talk about the details of your retirement. 385-247-7000. It's 385-247-7000 or online, GalileoWealth.com. And remember,
one man's trash is thicker than water. Of course, water's not thick at all. It's watery.
Thanks for tuning into Midday. I'm Maria Shilaos. We are continuing to follow breaking news today in the case against Tyler Shane Peterson. He's the older brother of 12-year-old Gavin Peterson, who died due to abuse and neglect in 2024. Within the last hour, a judge sentenced Tyler Peterson for his role, giving him 5 years to life for the child abuse homicide charge, 2 1 to 15-year sentences for aggravated child abuse, and one sentence for child endangerment. Now, he will receive credit for the 246 days he has already served in custody. Tyler and his father pleaded guilty to multiple felony charges in the death of Gavin, which sparked a series of investigations into Utah's Division of Child and Family Services. KSL News Radio's Adam Small was there in the courtroom as passionate testimony came out ahead of the sentencing.
Yeah, Maria, so today, the older brother of Gavin Peterson, and for those who may not be familiar, Gavin Peterson was a 12-year-old boy in West Haven who died in July of 2024 after first responders found him unresponsive, died at the hospital, and investigators uncovered what ended up being a horrific lifestyle for Gavin, what they could just easily be described as years of torture, abuse, starvation that ultimately led to Gavin's death. So Gavin's older brother, Tyler Peterson, who is now 23 years old, is facing some pretty serious charges. It includes child abuse, homicide, aggravated child abuse, and obstruction of justice. 3 of those charges are first-degree felonies, each of which in Utah could carry a sentence of 5 years to life in prison. So these are very serious. Gavin and Tyler's father and stepmother, Shane Peterson and Nicole Scott, have both already been sentenced to serve prison time, which likely for the two, depending on what the Board of Pardons and Parole decides, could very well likely end up being the rest of their lives in prison for the abuse that led to Gavin's death. But this case has been a little bit more complicated because Tyler Peterson has autism as well as other personality disorders, a couple of, at least one associated with anxiety, another with depression. And his defense, I was sitting in court today listening to both sides plead their case as a judge mulls over, is Tyler going to spend a single day in prison? Is he just going to go on probation? Because these are obviously very serious mental conditions that can affect someone's lifestyle, potentially their decision-making. And his defense was arguing, he's been living out of custody for quite some time at home with his biological mother. He's been doing well. He's been contributing to society. And the defense is arguing putting someone like him in the state prison is only going to put him back in a chaotic or terrible situation that he was in when he was still living in West Haven when Gavin was alive. However, the prosecution says that there's evidence to suggest that not only did Tyler participate in Gavin's abuse, his torture, his dehumanization, but there was also evidence they claim that he took satisfaction in that. So there's this very complicated issue of do these mental conditions warrant him the ability to remain under strict supervision on parole outside of prison, or does he end up having to spend prison time? Because the defense's whole premise is Shane Peterson, Nicole Scott, Tyler and Gavin's stepmom and biological father basically used Tyler's mental conditions to coerce him into participating into that horrific abuse that Gavin suffered and ended up dying at the age of 12 in July 2024.
So describe for us some of the passionate testimony that occurred in court today.
Yeah, it was emotional. I could look over and see Tyler, who is in court, standing side by side with his attorney, wearing a nice dress shirt. Like I said, he's not in jail custody or anything like that, so he's been able to come to the courthouse on his own. And you could see him as his attorney was making some of these pleas, again, making that argument that he has these mental conditions, including autism, which is very impactful to someone's life, and that he was taken advantage of by two people who are now likely going to serve the rest of their lives in prison. And you could see as Tyler is sitting there realizing that the fate of how he's likely going to spend the rest of his life is sitting in a judge's hand. You could see him visibly trembling at one point as his defense attorney is pleading his case. And there was also a statement read from Tyler's biological mother, who was pleading with the judge to not send him to prison, let him continue living with me. We can have that strict supervision, continue giving him the treatment he needs. But it was so emotional too, because you also have, relatives of Gavin, and they're sitting there in the front row of the courtroom, emotional hearing these arguments, because they have to continue reliving the horrific abuse and torture that Gavin underwent for years. They have to continue reliving this as the judge is mulling over this difficult decision of what happens to Gavin's older brother, weighing the balance between justice and mercy here, knowing was he very well aware of what he was doing? Was he coerced, or were those mental conditions really hampering his ability to potentially stop this abuse, potentially step in and be able to help Gavin, or was he not? It's a very complicated case with emotions running high on both sides in a family that is still clearly suffering from how awful this case is.
That is KSL News Radio's Adam Small joining me. Gavin's stepmother, Nicole Scott, pleaded guilty to murder last year, was sentenced to 15 years to life. His father, Shane, was sentenced to 8 years to life last year as well. Stay with us. We'll be back with more in just 60 seconds.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today. 1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Ready to get rid of that old car? Donate it to Cars for Kids. Call 877 Cars for Kids to speak to a friendly live agent. Donation's super easy, and your car can be picked up as soon as tomorrow. Go to carsforkids.org now or call 877 Cars for Kids to donate your car today.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Did you know you can donate real estate too?
After what was a really dry and boring winter, we're finally seeing a little action. Parts of the Wasatch Front saw rain this morning, and the Wasatch Back got quite a bit of the white powdery stuff from the air, and you might remember it's that thing called snow. Ahead of the storm, a lot of wind overnight.
Last night, it got wild, and that just speaks to how strong the air mass change will likely be for us, right? Last night saw gusts anywhere from generally 40 to 65, even 70 miles an hour. The highest gust we saw was up at Lake Point, or down at Lake Point, I should say, I-80. It's that section of I-80 between Erta and Magna when you're looping around the mountain. 91 miles an hour. Pretty intense wind there. Canyonlands picked up 69, so even southeast Utah. 68 mile an hour gust for Saratoga Springs. I had reports of trampolines flying around out there. Magna 63, Provo 57. The list goes on with the highest peak up in the mountaintops, of course, up near Sundance. Arrowhead Summit, 103 miles an hour. So we saw the wind, and we're now picking up a couple of rain snow showers along the Wasatch Front. But still, tomorrow does look like our best chance for accumulating snowfall. So finally some wild weather, as it's taken forever to get something in here within the state of Utah that has anything in the way of dynamics.
KSL meteorologist Matt Johnson telling KSL News Radio's Don Brinkerhoff that the worst of the wind is behind us. But that doesn't mean it's done, especially as the colder air moves in later tonight.
But I am seeing that the wind is probably going to stick around through tonight. The reason being is because our first wave has moved through. We're getting some trailing showers. But with the next wave loading to our west, as that storm moves into California, it's going to ramp the winds right back up. So it looks like another round of 30 to 40, maybe 50-mile-an-hour gusts expected late afternoon and into the overnight as our new cold front starts to approach. And so I'm not forecasting anything along the lines of 60 and 70 miles an hour, but with yesterday's forecast looking at last night, that wasn't in the forecast. So I don't suspect it'll happen again, but it's just something to think about. But definitely winds sticking around into the evening hours as a new cold front is going to be moving in tomorrow morning. And so that's a whole other story that we need to look out for. There is a chance, depending on the exact timing, that it could impact your Wednesday morning commute with snowfall.
So what exactly should you expect over the next 24 hours?
Today, you saw the teas, a little rain, snow, shower activity, but some of them packing a little punch. It'll be short-lived for a lot of them, though. The more sustained snowfall is going to be tomorrow morning. Now, right now, not an exact time to give you, and the reason being is because we haven't seen the models converge on a consensus. So right now, anywhere between the hours of 5 a.m. and 11 a.m. tomorrow, and so that puts the morning commute definitely at risk, right? Now, it could be one of those things where we're seeing it traverse from north to south, right, where the northern Wasatch Front gets it for the commute, and then it kind of delays. Right now, that general window, 5 a.m. to 11 a.m., will likely see our best chance for valley snow. After that mark, it's going to be more scattered. But sometimes even with scattered snow showers behind a cold front, you can get, a quick 1-inch, 2-inch little system.
We'll continue to track the storm and bring you updates on air and online throughout the afternoon and tomorrow morning on Utah's Morning News. And make sure you download the free KSL Weather app so you can get updates pushed to you. Just go to your Google Play or Apple App Store and search for KSL Weather. As the storm moves into Utah, bringing a good chance of snow to the valley floors, crews are preparing the snow plows. UDOT's John Gleason says usually by this time of year, we've seen several strings of storms and the snowplow crews are weary. That has not been the case this year.
We are fully stocked right now. A lot of times after you see storm after storm this point in the season, you have to make sure that you're staying on top of those orders, making sure that the salt supply is replenished. But yeah, we're fully stocked right now. We're ready to go, and our crews are well rested. They've been doing a lot of other maintenance activities that would typically have to hold off until the spring. But this is what we've all been wanting, and our state needs. We need the precipitation. We're going to see a chance for road snow down here in the valleys Wednesday morning into early Wednesday afternoon.
Gleason tells KSL News Radio's Britt Johnson the latest forecast has put snowplow drivers on notice. In fact, many were out in full force this morning around the Wasatch Back.
Anytime that we have a storm that is going to last several days, and it does look like this one is going to, it'll be a rain snow mix, but then we'll have a little bit of snow later on this week. We tend to rest up our crews to make sure that they're ready to handle the schedule, and we are entering into a more active pattern right now, it appears, and so that's a great thing. We'll make sure that our crews, our supplies, and our equipment are all ready to go. And the goal for us is to always make the roads safe and clear so that people can get to where they're going.
He says plow drivers are excited for the change of pace from the road maintenance that they've been doing in the meantime.
If we have a less than usual snow year, then they'll be working on other activities that would typically have to wait until spring. Filling potholes, crack sealing is a big one, litter cleanup, things like that you typically wouldn't be able to stay on top of during the winter months because you're plowing the roads. We've been able to accomplish a lot of that work.
Going forward, we all just need to remember to slow down on the snowy roads and let those plows do their job. Well, we need to talk about our roads right now. We do have an emergency traffic situation. Traffic and weather, it's brought to you by UCCU. Direct deposit gets you $300. Love where you bank. Michelle, what is happening?
This is on the southbound, Maria. This is I-215 for drivers making their way eastbound to join I-15 southbound. They have had the entire ramp closed due to a crash. They do have that car shoved out of the way, but it is in the Gore area, so at some point they're probably going to have to shut that down again. You're backing up close to Redwood Road. Also for drivers, expect winter conditions. Again, I cannot overstate this enough. This is up Provo Canyon US 189 going past Deer Creek Reservoir. Very dicey. They've had several cars off the side of the road. This is between the lake house and the zip line area. It'll elevate your dining at the roof, now serving lunch and dinner. Enjoy city views and fan of favorite funerals like funeral potatoes and the bacon fig flatbread. Visit theroofslc.com. I'm Michelle Rowe in the KSL Traffic Center.
Thanks, Michelle. Coming up, we'll get the latest updates on the Save America Act, which would impose new restrictions and safeguards for federal elections. Stay with us.
Business technology has changed a lot over the last 70 years. But one thing hasn't.
Les Olson is here.
As the years have passed, there's been one constant. And after 70 years and still counting, Les Olson IT is here with the technology and the people to make life easier, more productive, and more secure for your business. Let Les be here for you.
You know, it's frustrating. It really is. You work your tail off for 40 plus years. The government takes 30 or 40% in taxes. Then they turn around and they waste your money. Americans are getting fed up, rightfully so. And that's why they're taking advantage of tax planning. Tax planning could significantly reduce your taxes, not just for 1 year, but for the rest of your life. Learn how much you could save in taxes when you retire with a free retirement tax savings analysis from Boss Retirement Solutions. If you've saved more than $300,000, schedule your free analysis now by calling 801-896-9622. Don't pay the government one more dime than you need to. Call today, 801-896-9622. That number again, 801-896-9622.
For informational purposes only, actual results may vary. No statement contained herein shall constitute tax, legal, or investment advice.
Ready for your next vehicle? At Performance Automotive in Bountiful, your new Ford, Toyota, or Honda is here. Built for Utah communities, canyon weekends, and everything in between. Choose capability with Ford, long-lasting reliability with Toyota, or smooth efficiency with Honda. Backed by friendly experts and financing options that fit your budget. Visit Performance Ford, Performance Toyota, and Performance Honda for your test drive. Browse inventory, check pricing, and schedule your visit at performancebountiful.com. Performance Automotive in Bountiful, driven to be the best.
Be advised, this is your opportunity to save up to 40 to 80% on a hot tub or swim spa. This weekend only, Friday through Sunday, Mountain America Expo Center, Sandy. Be advised, this is your opportunity to save up to 40 to 80% on a hot tub or swim spa. This weekend only, Friday through Sunday, Mountain America Expo Center, Sandy. 18-month interest-free financing. Our factories have demanded we sell 1,000 hot tubs and swim spas this weekend. Mountain America Expo Center, Sandy. Huge factory incentives, factory rebates. This weekend only, Mountain America Expo Center, Sandy. We can remove your old hot tub. Free delivery of your new hot tub. Deep, deep discounts. Mountain America Expo Center, Sandy. Free delivery of your new hot tub. Just relax and enjoy. Mountain America Expo Center, Sandy. Friday, 2 p.m. to 8 p.m. Saturday, 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. Sunday, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Free admission, free parking, free delivery. Mountain America Expo Center, Sandy. Call 833-SPA-SALE or visit hottubandSwimSpaSale.com.
You were listening to Midday. I'm Maria Shilaos. Amid the fight over funding for the Department of Homeland Security in recent weeks, as congressional Democrats have pushed for a pause in funding until immigration processes can be changed, Republicans have set their sights on something else: voting reform. The Save America Act has been discussed several times since President Trump's second term began, and it picked up steam recently when it passed the U.S. House. ABC's Lauren Peller covers the Capitol. She joins the Start Here podcast to describe how the bill would work and why Republican lawmakers are generally in support of the Trump-backed bill.
This measure became largely spoken about last week when the measure passed the Republican-controlled House with the help of a single Democrat, and all Republicans present voted in favor. So this GOP bill would restrict mail-in ballots, it would require photo ID at the polling places, and it would also mandate states to obtain proof of citizenship before registering a person to vote in a federal election.
The law already provides for that, but we need to ensure that it's enforced.
Now, these citizenship documents include a valid U.S. passport, a real ID, a birth certificate, a U.S. military ID, but a driver's license without a real ID stamp would not be accepted as proof of citizenship under this measure.
Proof of citizenship and photo ID to vote. Everyone in the country understands the necessity of that, understands how simple it is and how important it is.
The bill would also impose several requirements for voting, including mandating that states share their voter rolls with the Department of Homeland Security, which is currently shut down, as you know. And, lawmakers have yet to reach an agreement over how to fund this agency. It would also put a new requirement for mail-in ballots, which have become more popular in recent elections, actually requiring voters to submit an eligible ID copy when requesting and casting an absentee ballot.
This is a Democrat shutdown. This has nothing to do with Republicans.
This election bill has been backed by the president. There has been mounting pressure on House Republicans and Senate Republicans to do something about voting in elections across the country just as we near the midterms.
If you had voter ID, if you had proof of citizenship, they could never win an election, and they know that.
Trying to sort of convince their base that elections will be safe and secure, which is something that the president has continued to try to pressure Republicans to act upon.
So why are Democrats against it? Lauren says it's a bit more complicated than Democrats not wanting secure elections.
Well, Democrats say that this bill will be a hindrance to Americans across the country who are trying to vote in elections.
It has nothing to do with protecting our elections and everything to do with federalizing voter suppression.
Democrats like Minority Leader Chuck Schumer say that the measure would impose, quote, Jim Crow-type laws to the entire country.
The goal of the SAVE Act is the same: disenfranchising American citizens and making it harder for eligible people to vote, particularly low-income Americans and people of color.
It would require voters to show proof of citizenship, not only when registering to vote, but also every time a voter goes to cast a ballot in a federal election. So this would increase the steps that voters would have to take to actually cast their ballot in an election. And they would need to show an American passport or birth certificate, which is harder than it sounds.
If you're one of tens of millions of Americans who does not have access to your birth certificate, or if you're one of the 50% of Americans who don't have a passport, the SAVE Act could make it impossible for you to participate in elections.
People who get married and change their last names, their birth certificate will have a different name at birth.
If you get married and you change your last name, you too would be at risk under the SAVE Act of getting booted off the voter rolls.
Democrats say that birth certificate process will make it a lot harder for women who are married to vote in federal elections if there's issues with the birth certificate that they provide.
The measure has passed the House, but there's no clear path to success in the Senate right now, despite continued pressure from President Trump. After holding prices steady during the holiday season, many companies are now preparing to raise their prices. News Nation's Brooke Schaefer has more.
Around the holidays, some of these companies held off on raising prices and for the most part ate the cost of tariffs and inflation because they're trying to lure in shoppers. But analysts say that break is over and we should brace for higher prices now, from spices to clothes and especially tech. They say we're going to see these increases across the board.
I would expect higher prices in tech, specifically on laptops. I'm seeing a lot of buzz around that. These could be tough roads ahead. I think we're going to see this across many different kinds of businesses, from small to large.
The Wall Street Journal reports several major retailers are preparing to hike prices, including Target and Walmart. Levi's, which raised prices last month, is adding on even more this month. Columbia Sportswear told the Journal it's upping prices by a high single-digit percent, so about 7 to 9% on their spring and fall clothes. And experts say that it's not just tariffs. Retailers are also dealing with higher insurance, shipping, and operating costs. And many are just no longer willing to absorb those hits. While January often comes with price markups, analysts agree this year's increases appear to be steeper than normal. So over these next few months, they are encouraging shoppers to be strategic and mindful of where you are spending. Wait for big sale events like Amazon Prime Days if you can. Compare prices and consider buying secondhand for laptops and tech as retailers signal these prices could continue to climb.
That is News Nation's Brooke Schaefer reporting. It's 1:30 midday at KSL News Radio. I'm Maria Shilaos. Some of the stories we are watching this hour. A handful of proposals on Utah's Capitol Hill could have major impacts on the future of high school sports. Several western states, including Utah, failing to reach a deal on water sharing from the Colorado River. And KSL traffic, Michelle?
Dicey winter conditions in part of Provo Canyon, US 189. Michelle Rowan, the KSL Traffic Center.
And it looks like winter may be here to stay. 80% chance of showers today, a 100% chance of snow showers tomorrow. 41 degrees downtown.
ABC News, I'm Michelle Franzen. Family, friends, and fellow civil rights activists are remembering the Reverend Jesse Jackson. The 84-year-old spent his life expanding civil rights for Black Americans and minorities and made 2 presidential bids in the 1980s. The Reverend Al Sharpton called Jackson a mentor.
Now, he was a hard taskmaster. He would always get on me about, why are you on this issue? You need to be more studied on this. But he was one who was more responsible than anyone for teaching me activism.
President Trump calling Jackson a good man with lots of personality, grit, and street smarts who truly loved people. ABC News has confirmed reports by CNN that Sarah Ferguson has recently requested to have 6 companies struck from the register at Companies House, moving to close and cease trading. Ferguson is the ex-wife of former Prince Andrew, both facing fallout over their ties to convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. And on Wall Street this hour, stocks are up. This is ABC News.
KSL's top local story. We have an update on the effort to repeal Prop 4 today. Salt Lake County Clerk's offices confirmed that they received more than 1,600 packets before Sunday's deadline. No confirmation, though, yet on how many verified signatures are in those packets. Signature gatherers had to collect about 141,000 signatures from 8% of voters in 26 of Utah's 29 Senate districts in order to repeal the law that dictates the process for redistricting. Police quotas are a continuing problem and lawmakers are cracking down. KSL News Radio's Alexandria Bonilla reports.
Any police department that still has these quota systems for citations and arrests could lose out on funding if a bill sponsored by Senator Todd Weiler passes.
The only real trigger that the legislature has would be, to say that they wouldn't qualify for receiving grants from the state.
Weiler says he wants police officers to be enforcing the law, but not issuing unnecessary tickets just to meet a random requirement. These quotas are often used as a way to measure an officer's performance. Weiler says there are better ways to do that.
Quota systems have been illegal in Utah since 2018. Taking a look at your money at this moment, the Dow is up by 115 points, sitting at 49,615. S&P up by 25. The NASDAQ, it's up by 122 points. Traffic and weather, it's brought to you by UCCU, up to $500 for loan transfers. Love where you bank. And Michelle, we're out of emergency traffic?
We're out of emergency traffic, but there is some very dicey conditions. This is US 189 Provo Canyon, and that is starting west of the Sundance turnoff now, and that's going all the way up to Heber City. You need to expect winter conditions going up into this area. The Good Feet store supporting you with comfort no matter what the day brings. Find the location nearest you at goodfeet.com. I'm Michelle Rowe in the KSL Traffic Center.
Taking a look at the forecast for the Wasatch Front, wintry weather, 80% chance of a rain-snow mix today, 100% chance of snow tomorrow. Then that chance of snow showers decreasing on Thursday to a 30% chance, but back up to 50% chance on Friday. 39 degrees at the KSL Common Spirit Health Studios.
Mornings are for recharging.
And they're for starting your day right.
We volunteer to join you in the car. Get news and weather at 102.7 FM during the most important part of your day.
Andy and Amanda, each morning between 5 and 9 on KSL News Radio.
Getting help with electrical repairs is easier than you think. All you have to do is call Any Hour Services or schedule an appointment at anyhourservices.com. No one helps more homeowners than Any Hour Services.
Sign up for KSL Text Alerts. Get breaking news and traffic updates by texting the word news to 57500. Want access to exclusive contests? Text contest to 57500. Jazz fans, text the word jazz for breaking jazz updates. And Cougar fans, text BYU to 57500 for the latest on the Cougars. Message and data rates may apply.
The KSL News Radio Movie Show comes to My Hearing Centers Friday from 10 to 1. But first, discover what My Hearing Centers can do for you. My Hearing Centers uses advanced technology to diagnose and treat hearing loss. These comprehensive evaluations determine the best treatment options. Then enjoy lifetime support with regular check-ins, cleaning, and maintenance. Call My Hearing Centers at 801-701-1629. 801-701-1629 for more details. My Hearing Centers has offices from Ogden to St. George.
Do you remember when tankless water heaters were the big new thing? We all had a friend that was raving about how efficient they were, heating only the water that was needed, saving money, water, the efficiency, amazing. And then sitting next to it was the ordinary water softener, regenerating soft water every night, no matter how much was used, using a predictable yet completely wasteful amount of salt. Looking back, it really doesn't make sense, does it? If you don't have a Kinetico soft water system, you're likely using about 2/3 more salt than you need to. It's not rocket science. It's the same way a tankless water heater only heats the water you use. A Kinetico water softener precisely uses the exact amount of salt needed to give you endless, perfectly soft water for your 2-bed condo or 4-story mansion. Save on money, save on salt. Call Northern Utah's authorized Kinetico dealer, 801-576-8600, or visit softwaterutah.com. Tell them Doug Wright sent you.
Progressive presents Employee of the Month. Small Business Edition. Today's recipient from Michaela's Mobile Spa, Michaela! Michaela got a quick business insurance quote from Progressive and chose from over 30 customizable coverages. Sure, it helps she's her only employee and does literally everything, but while others would rest on their laurels, Michaela was hard at work saving big. So take that, hypothetical other employee who doesn't exist. Be your own Michaela. See if you could save in as little as 8 minutes at ProgressiveCommercial.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Coverage is not available in all states or for all vehicles and coverage selections.
Are you 50 or older? This news is for you. The CDC recommends you get vaccinated against pneumococcal pneumonia. Even if you're healthy, your age puts you at risk. People 50 or older are over 6 times more likely to be hospitalized with pneumococcal pneumonia compared to adults 18 to 49. Just one shot can help protect you. Learn more and schedule at vaxassist.com. That's VAXassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Matthew.
Huh? Oh, sorry.
It's okay. I just need you to listen to me.
I know that a lot of times, Mom, it might not seem like I'm listening to you, but I am. I hear you. And what you say really does matter to me.
I mean, let's be honest. No kid likes rules, but I get why we have them. I hear you, and I know it's because you care.
All the talks we've had over the years, including what you've told me about not using alcohol and other drugs, they stick with me. And believe it or not, they really do make a difference, especially at times that matter most.
Hey, want a drink?
No thanks, I'm good. So thank you, Dad, for talking and preparing me for what's ahead.
Thanks, Mom, for never giving up and always being my biggest fan.
Thank you for letting me know what you expect, so I can try to meet your expectations.
Thank you for talking.
For more information about talking with your kids about underage use of alcohol and other drugs, visit underagedrinking.samhsa.gov.
You were listening to Midday. I'm Maria Shilaos.
Eye on the Hill 2026. Special coverage on KSL News Radio.
A number of bills being discussed on Utah's Capitol Hill right now over high school sports. One was supposed to be heard this morning, but it got pushed to another date. The particular bill, HB 360, looks at allowing transfers for student athletes during the school year and during sports seasons. KSL Podcast executive producer and sports reporter Amy Donaldson has been tracking this bill and several other bills that would affect high school sports, and she joins me now in studio to discuss. So, first of all, tell us about this first bill. What is the issue with transfers?
Well, I think the state of Utah in the 90s decided that parents should be able to choose the school. So you don't necessarily have to go to the school in your neighborhood. But with sports, it became a little bit more complicated because kids would choose a school that had a winning basketball team or a winning volleyball team. And so right away there became an issue with you should play where you live. And you'll hear that term a lot in high school sports, play where you live, play where you live. You don't have to play where you live now because when you first enter high school, you can go to any school that is open. So some districts and some schools are at capacity and they're not open. But I'd say 80% of the schools and districts are open. And so if they have room, you can go there. You're not, after that first entry, you are not supposed to be transferring because of sports, but we all know that it happens. So this bill actually would, in 2024, they changed the transfer rules to basically the only exceptions are a full family move and a bullying that is documented by the sending school, so the school you're leaving.
Sure.
So those are the only two exceptions. If you transfer, you miss half the season. So, that deters the people who are just doing it for athletics. But this bill would, and it has been pulled off the agenda, so it's not tabled. Haven't been able to talk to the sponsor yet. But I talked to a number of people, principals, coaches. Their summary of this was if you allow transfers anytime for any reason, you'll decimate high school sports. And so I don't think it has a great chance of passing as is. I think the sponsor has mentioned to other people that he was really trying to get at bullying. So right now the school has to document it. So if your child is being bullied, you tell the principal then investigates it and says, yes, this child is being bullied and you can transfer. But what if they disagree with you and they say, your child was not bullied? We don't find any evidence of that. And those parents are still saying, we shouldn't have to have a confirmation. We should be able to move our kid because it's best for our kid.
Right. Okay, so that one's not on the agenda, pulled from the agenda, but it's still out there.
It is still out there.
Okay, and then you have other bills
There's
that are dealing with high school sports. Now, what are those?
And so one of them by Representative Katie Hall, who was a former tennis coach at Bonneville High School, she wants more moratorium time, so more time where you're not allowed to play sports. And it used to be like every sports season had a moratorium after it, so it would be 4 to 6 weeks of you can't practice, your coach can't require you to come work out, any of those things. Club sports really changed that. And so I think there's only 4 weeks total moratorium, and schools can split them up, or they can have them all one chunk like in July. So the problem is families feel like they can't go on vacation because there's always a sports related commitment. And so she was trying to help families get more time, but she was trying to limit practice time, and it was hurting rural schools. They travel a lot. So it's very complicated, and Utah's really interesting because it does have such a mix of rural and urban schools. And so finding a solution that fits everybody is really difficult. And so her bill has not come up yet. I did talk to her last week about that. And, I think what she's trying to do is help families have more time to themselves.
Sure.
Does that
Rest
work in
time
today's
might be
modern
good, right?
sports all the time, training all the time, private lessons, who knows, right? And then the biggest issue, or the biggest bill, I think, is Senator Grover's bill, Keith Grover, 271, I think is the name of it, or the number, and it is up for debate in committee tomorrow, 8 a.m., and that I had a lengthy discussion, and I think he said the reason he's doing it is really accountability. And there's all these discussions, and we had a long discussion about what is accountability? Who are you accountable to? What does that mean, right? And I think that's something they're still working on. It would basically take the association. The association is 99 years old this year. It'll be 100 years next year. Most states have these they're quasi-government agencies. All the schools pay dues, and they basically got together and said, let's run tournaments together. Let's give out state championships. That they assign officials. But over time, they developed into rulemaking. and rule enforcing bodies, sort of like the NCAA did. So the schools all pay, I think it's $75 they pay to be a member. Most of the funds that fund the UHSAA come from private sponsorships and partnerships, right? Like, so, but now the state in this bill, they would make a division of high school athletics. I don't know. There's two things I see, right? Can you take a private association and basically dismantle it or bring it into state government without compensating the members? Or, what are the benefits to bring it into state government and being able to really have the weight of the law behind the rules?
Okay, so how do you see that playing out?
I don't have a clue. And I think partly because after talking, we had like a 45-minute conversation. I think he's still open to like shaping what this might look like. And I think he feels like these are education-based athletics. And essentially, I mean, like if you think about it, the kids they're the product, right? Same as in college. The kids are the product, which sounds weird and awful, but it's also it's true. But if you want it to stay education-based, a lot of people are going to say, hey, it makes sense to have it at the state school board. But there are also people who say, hey, this is a private association, and it's private for a reason because athletics are secondary to the educational goals of our high schools. Okay. So, and I don't know what you do about private schools if you bring it into the state board.
And you've been covering high school sports for a very long time, and it's always emotional. Parents get very involved, and these are not just laws, they're emotional decisions.
100%. I think anything that has to do with your kids, there are people who are really reasonable and rational about it, and there are people who are, I need the best for my kid, and this is what I think is the best, and it might be the best for your kid, and it might not be the best, right?
So you get those sports have become competitive, just like everything else.
Well, I think we've already, as I said today, I think the horses have left the barn a few years ago with club sports. There's billions of dollars in youth sports. I would say more than a couple of our pro leagues. And there are a lot of issues that need to be addressed. And so I think it's just this moment in time where both the college athletic system and the high school athletic system are really maybe being redefined, reimagined. There are several states. One state has already moved their private association into state government. And then Missouri is actually contemplating it as we speak.
All right, Amy. Thank you so much for your time. That is Amy Donaldson, KSL Podcast Executive Producer. We'll continue to watch these. Midday continues in just 60 seconds.
I remember brushing my hair and looking down and thinking, oh my gosh, do I have any hair left?
I used to look at women with thick, beautiful hair and think, why doesn't my hair look like that?
My thinning hair is making me feel so old.
If you want thick, healthy, gorgeous hair, then you need Hair Volume from New Nordic. With clinically proven ingredients like apple extract, biotin, and millet, Hair Volume nourishes your hair follicles to promote thicker, healthier-looking hair. Say goodbye to shedding, thin, and dull hair, and hello to thick, healthy hair with Hair Volume.
Since taking Hair Volume, the shedding has all but stopped.
Now, instead of being jealous of other women's hair, I have friends who are jealous of mine.
My hairdresser couldn't believe the difference in my hair. Now she's using Hair Volume too.
Available as a tablet or delicious gummy, Hair Volume is available online at Amazon and NewNordicUSA.com, or find Hair Volume in the hair care aisle at your local CVS.
The deadline for Western states to come up with a new water sharing plan for the Colorado River has come and gone without a deal in place. The old plan had states splitting up around 15 million acre-feet of water each year, but since the year 2000, the river flows have been a lot less than that. The river provides water for more than 40 million people across states like Colorado, Utah, Arizona, Nevada, and California. If a compromise isn't reached by this summer, the federal government will have to step in and make its own plan. Joining me now to go more in depth on this is Gene Shawcroft, Colorado River Commissioner of Utah. Thank you so much for being with me.
Happy to be with you, Maria.
So, Gene, what happened? Why was a deal not reached?
Well, first of all, let me just say how extremely disappointed I am that we weren't able to reach an agreement. We have worked collectively very, very diligently to get a 7-state deal. And the Upper Basin just recently put a framework on the table, but it was not accepted. And so what you said about the federal government having to move forward and make decisions, that is absolutely true, and that's what will happen as we move into the future.
So what is the sticking point here?
Well, there are a number of sticking points. The biggest challenge, Maria, frankly, is the fact that when the river was divided 100 years ago, there was more water in the system than what has been in the system the last number of years. And so the real sticky point is the fact that there's not as much water in the river as there used to be. And that is really what's caused the major challenge, because over time, you can imagine everyone has grown accustomed to having a certain amount of water. And over the last 20 years, the lower basin states of California, Arizona, and Nevada have been able to draw upon storage that was in Lake Powell and Lake Mead. Now that both of those are low, that availability of water just simply isn't there like it has been historically.
So what needs to happen to reach some sort of an agreement? I mean, the federal government stepping in, isn't that going to be worse than the states coming to their own agreement?
There's no doubt it would be better if the states could come up with an agreement. But many of the things that we're talking about reducing water in the lower basin states, reducing water in the upper basin states, how the water gets moved and when it gets moved are all extremely complex and extremely difficult. And those are some of the fine points we have not been able to reach. There is still an opportunity, though a very low probability, of the 7 states coming up with something in the next week or two, but I don't see that happening. And having the feds operate the system is something that they have the authority to do for most of those large federal facilities as it is. We work closely with the federal government, so it won't be an extremely negative thing. It will just simply be that they will have the ability to do more with the facilities than they've done in the past, which the states have been able to be more in the driver's seat than they would be under the scenarios we're talking about as we move forward.
So remind us, I mean, these talks have been underway for quite some time, haven't they?
Yes. The river guidelines were put together in 2007. We've been operating under those for 20 years, so those expire at the end of this year. And since the 2007 agreement was put into place, there have continued to be conversations since then about how we operate better in the future. What really throws the curveball is the fact that the hydrology has, or the amount of snowpack we have, the amount of water available, has decreased dramatically over the last 20 years. And that's really what's thrown us the curveball that none of us predicted or none of us were prepared for.
Jane, appreciate your time. Thanks for getting us up to date.
Happy to be with you, Maria. Thank you.
And that is Gene Shawcroft. He's the Colorado River Commissioner of Utah. A few special things going on today, including Lunar New Year and Mardi Gras. More on those coming up next. But first, it's traffic on KSL. It's brought to you by UCCU, up to $500 for loan transfers. Love where you bank. Here's Michelle Rowe.
Weather slowing down traffic southbound I-15 between Pleasant Grove and Linden. Also some northbound delays in that area. And then again, just a heads up, if you're traveling US 189, expect winter conditions between the Sundance turnoff up into Heber. Michelle Rowe in the KSL Traffic Center.
And it's great to have options, so many options to lose weight now. But if you're considering those GLP-1 injections for weight loss, there are some things that you need to think about. I mean, first of all, are you prepared to spend $3,000 to $5,000 per year to stay on this medication long term and to maintain results? And many of these prescription weight loss injections require weekly shots, and when the medication is stopped, you gain the weight back. So I want to tell you about Salt Lake City Fat Loss, because with Salt Lake City Fat Loss, you lose the weight, you lose it quickly, and you're losing fat. You're not losing muscle like you lose in a lot of these other programs. There are no injections, no synthetic hormones. It's just real food to reset your metabolism and control your hunger and cravings naturally, and to help you again burn that fat, not muscle. That's why thousands of their clients have trusted Salt Lake City Fat Loss for real lasting results. They helped me lose more than 40 pounds. They can help you as well. And don't forget, their Resolution Reset offer is underway for the rest of this month, $200 off. Go to slcfatloss.com. That's slcfatloss.com, slcfatloss.com.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-292-4541 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-292-4541. That's 800-292-4541. What do you have to lose? Call 800-292-4541. Again, 800-292-4541.
Are you thinking about buying medicine online? A search for online pharmacies yields more than 20 million results. But which ones can you trust? Medicines bought from unlicensed online pharmacies can be dangerous. You may get a fake drug, your condition may get worse, or you may experience a bad reaction. Don't put your health at risk. To learn how to find an online pharmacy that's safe and legal, visit fda.gov/BeSafeRx. A message from the U.S. Food and Drug Administration.
Join KSL News Radio's Amanda Dixon this Friday, 3 to 5 at the Salt Lake NPS store at 1600 Empire Road, npsstore.com.
Tim Jr. here from RGS Exteriors. Did you know that we offer 3 distinct styles of gutter protection? Each one meant to handle a specific leaf problem. You might not even know there are different styles of gutter protection, but there are. And if you pick the wrong one, it could be a huge waste of money. Now, the big gutter guard companies won't tell you this. They try to sell you a one-size-fits-all gutter guard. And it could be completely wrong for the amount and types of trees and leaves you have. Not RGS Exteriors. We understand which kind of leaf problem needs which kind of gutter guard. We'll do an in-depth evaluation to assess the types, locations, and numbers of trees in your yard. Based on that data, we match your home to the right gutter guard. So don't risk wasting money on the wrong gutter protection. For a free evaluation and estimate, call RGS Exteriors at 801-280-3110 or visit rgsexteriors.com. That's 801-280-3110 or rgsexteriors.com.
Revelers are celebrating Mardi Gras in New Orleans, but they're doing it a little different than in previous years. Eco-friendly beads are being thrown around for Fat Tuesday. Start Here host Brad Milkey explains.
And one last thing. Today is Mardi Gras, Fat Tuesday, a day for food, revelry, and if you're in a place like New Orleans, a great party. Now, if you have not been to a New Orleans Mardi Gras before, you might not understand just how many events there are leading up to it or how much stuff gets tossed out at these parties. There are dozens of crews, that's crew with a K, that organize balls and parades and floats. If you're on a float, you are expected to throw out gifts, including beads, the ultimate currency of Mardi Gras. People will shout for beads or sometimes take off a piece of clothing to get noticed. Well, when a party is over, you know how good it was based on how many necklaces are left hanging from the trees.
Sustainability is a big, important thing.
This is Greg Rhodes with the crew of Ferret.
The city of New Orleans used to actually gauge the success of Carnival based upon the tonnage of waste from the street.
That, he says, becomes less charming as you truck away the trash to a landfill.
As you have thousands of riders going down the street throwing things to people, we wanted to limit our waste.
And this year, the bead necklaces on the Ferret floats look a little different.
These are really unique Mardi Gras beads this year. They are absolutely biodegradable.
That's right. Goodbye plastic. Hello, plant-based beads. A few years ago, a professor at LSU in Baton Rouge made an accidental discovery. He was studying algae and left the centrifuge running overnight that resulted in a large solid globule of algae about the size of a bead. Suddenly, he had students mass-producing necklaces that would eventually, naturally, break down. This year, LSU doctoral student Alexis Strain is working with a new substance.
So this is made of something called PLA, or polylactic acid, which is essentially a starch derivative that can be found from corn.
PLA will not only break down in a compost heap, it is also an incredibly popular, eco-friendly material for 3D printers, perfect for mass-producing bead strands. This year's 3D printed design does not look like your traditional Mardi Gras necklace. Yes, it's green and purple, but it also has these kind of open geometric structures that look like really cute cages because they're holding something inside of them. Seeds.
That's the reason that they're hollow here, is because we put seeds inside of them. We tried a bunch of different types. We tried okra, sunflower.
That's right, if you chuck your necklace into a garden, or better yet, plant it under some soil, you might end up with some vegetables because of it. Now, these are not the new standard in NOLA just yet. The crew of Ferret is one of only a few using them, but LSU has made the designs open source, allowing anyone to copy them, and is hoping it sparks a larger conversation about the rest of the stuff floats are tossing around.
The main goal of this is to increase sustainability, but to also increase awareness of the current issues with Mardi Gras.
In the meantime, the parties tonight will be rocking, and as the sun rises, perhaps something new will already be taking root.
And that is Brad Milkey on the Start Here podcast. Now, I've never been to Mardi Gras, and I would like to watch from the second floor of one of those buildings because it looks pretty crazy. But have you ever seen the amount of garbage that really happens there? I'm glad they've got something more eco-friendly going on. In the next hour of Midday, we'll go in depth on the legacy left behind by civil rights activist Jesse Jackson, who died today at the age of 84. Stay with us.
KSL FM Midvale.
KSL Salt Lake City.
From the KSL Common Spirit Health Studios, this is KSL News Radio.
Utah's news, traffic, and weather station.
Spring should be just around the corner, but it feels like winter here in Utah today. Well, thank goodness, right? Strong winds blew in a nice multi-day winter storm, something we haven't really seen this season.
After the wind comes the rain and snow, just a couple of showers today. I think the more impactful day for the valleys will be Wednesday, where we could see some valley snow in the way of a few inches.
The time is 2 o'clock on Tuesday, February 17th. It's midday. I'm Maria Shilaos. Coming up, we'll get an hour-by-hour breakdown of the forecast so you can plan ahead for tomorrow morning's commute in the snow. Also this hour, several years ago, Utah lowered the legal blood alcohol concentration. In the time since then, has that change made our roads any safer? I'll get a breakdown with KSL investigator Daniela Rivera in just a moment. But first, our top stories. A judge has sentenced the older brother of Gavin Peterson to 5 years to life in prison. Tyler Peterson previously pled guilty to participating in the brutal torture and starvation of his younger brother at their West Haven home, leading up to Gavin's death in July 2024. KSL News Radio's Adam Small has more from the courthouse in Ogden.
The judge handed down the maximum sentence for the charges 23-year-old Tyler Peterson pled guilty to, including first-degree child abuse homicide, despite his defense arguing he should remain under strict supervision at home with his mom and live out the punishment under her care. She wrote a statement to the court pleading for that outcome as well. Peterson has autism as well as other personality disorders. However, the prosecution argued not only did he participate in the brutal abuse of his younger brother Gavin, they say there's evidence that he took pleasure in doing so.
Peterson's father and stepmom are already in prison for the abuse and killing of Gavin. Our top national story this hour from ABC News: a Maryland-based federal judge has ruled that ICE can't take Kilmar Abrego Garcia back into custody. He is the man the Trump administration mistakenly sent to El Salvador and then brought back to face federal human smuggling charges in Tennessee. He is now with his family in Maryland as the case is still pending.
Judge Paula Sinise ruled late last year that the government had not properly arranged for Kilmar Abrego Garcia's deportation, and she ordered him released from detention. The judge has now converted her temporary order from December into an injunction. In court papers, the administration has suggested it might send Abrego Garcia to Africa, where he's never lived. The judge says that has amounted to one empty threat after another. And for now, she says there's no legal basis for him to be held in ICE custody.
That is ABC Stephen Portnoy reporting. Taking a look at your money at this moment, the market's losing steam right before the close, but the Dow still ending up 32 points to end at 49,533. S&P up by just 7 and the Nasdaq up by 32 points. Traffic and weather, it's brought to you by UCCU. Earn 4.44% on savings at uccu.com. Here's Michelle Rowe.
Weather still slowing southbound I-15 down a bit. This is between Pleasant Grove Boulevard headed into Linden and then US 189 Provo Canyon. That remains a very troubled spot due to winter conditions. That's going to start just a little west of the Sundance turnoff, headed up toward Heber City. And then 189 between River Road and Jordanelle, that's also a slow spot as well. Arrive in style for all of life's events, from the first suit to the first dance, preparing to serve or starting a new life together. Every age, every milestone. For nearly 60 years, Mr. Mack, helping you look your best for all of life's events. I'm Michelle Rowe in the Kaysville Traffic Center.
High today of 47, but we may have already reached that because I've noticed the temperature is now dropping. Still an 80% chance of showers today, 100% chance tomorrow. Right now, 39 degrees at the KSL Common Spirit Health Studios.
A reminder about the simplest way to get updated for your day.
Hit your KSL preset when you jump in the car, and we'll take care of the rest.
Hear key news updates and traffic reports.
Andy and Amanda from 5 to 9 in your car.
KSL News Radio at 102.7 FM.
A family office is a team built to handle the three biggest financial responsibilities a family faces: wealth management, tax strategy, and estate planning. Most firms only manage your investments and refer the rest out, hoping everyone stays aligned. At Trajan, we built something different. Your wealth, tax planning, and estate planning are handled together inside one firm under one roof. There's no guessing whether your CPA, advisor, and estate attorney are truly in sync, because our team works together every day on your behalf. When your financial life becomes more complex, your advice should become more coordinated, not more fragmented. One plan, one trusted team. Call Trajan today, 801-207-9900. That's 801-207-9900.
Trajan Wealth, an SEC-registered investment advisor. Additional services through Trajan Estate and Trajan Tax. Additional disclosures and accreditation at TrajanWealth.com.
For over 75 years, Duke's Jewelers has been part of Utah Valley's story. Founded in 1948 by J. Melvin Duke, the Duke family has been helping yours celebrate life's biggest moments, generation after generation. Duke's is more than just a jewelry store. They're craftsmen. From repairing a treasured family heirloom to designing the custom engagement ring of your dreams, their expertise is trusted because it's been earned through decades of care, skill, and tradition. When you walk through the doors of Duke's Jewelry, you're not just a customer. You're part of the Duke's family. Because at Duke's, jewelry isn't just about sparkle. It's about legacy, memory, and love. Discover the difference of a family-owned jeweler where heritage meets craftsmanship. Duke's Jewelers, 220 South Main in Springville, or online at dukesjewelers.com. Duke's Jewelers, celebrating love, tradition, and community since 1948.
Thanks for tuning in to Midday. I'm Maria Shilaos. Did anyone else feel like they were going to get blown off the map last night? Strong winds caused a bit of a headache around northern Utah into this morning as a colder storm system began making its way into the state. Now, the winds have died down, but the moisture... Have the winds died down? Yep. The winds have died down, but the moisture is still on its way. Joining me now in studio is KSL meteorologist Evan Mashuli. I had to look outside to make sure that I was still... As winds have died down. Like last night was crazy.
Yeah, it was loud. I heard a lot of people say they did not get a good night's sleep because of how strong the wind was.
It just really makes you worry. It's like, what's blowing out around out there on the roof, you know?
Mm-hmm. And we are going to get another cold front coming through overnight tonight. So it's likely, again, those winds are going to be strong. It's going to be loud. And it's going to come with more precipitation.
It's a good thing.
Yes.
So first of all, let's look at what we did get already. Do we have some totals for what we got?
Yes, I do. I have up to 11 inches at Bryan Head Resort in southwestern Utah, about 7 inches at Beaver Mountain Resort. Alta is reporting 10 inches over the last 24 hours, and it looks like roughly about 8 inches at Solitude Brighton. and kind of anywhere between 3 to 6 inches for our other resorts. I saw that Heber City in the higher elevations got about 5 inches, and then us here in the valleys have mostly just stayed less than half an inch. Just a nice little heavier snow showers kind of here or there today.
Right. So let's look ahead to tonight. What should we expect tonight?
So we kind of have spotty showers out there right now, and we'll see more of that through the rest of this evening. So briefly, a snow shower can be heavy, but overall, we're not expecting a ton of accumulations for us here in the valleys through the rest of the day today. But at times, you'll come across some snow showers with some rain mixed in. Then by 9 p.m. in southwestern Utah, we'll really see things start kicking back up. So Cedar City getting heavy snow by that point, and sort of overnight, it's going to expand north. So starts in southwestern Utah, kind of seeing it expand across the north. So by 4 to 5 a.m. tomorrow morning here in the valleys, we will have heavy snow showers, and that looks like it can continue through the early afternoon tomorrow. So that's where we're going to get our accumulations, have some slush ups on the road. And in terms of our accumulation forecast, we're going about 1 to 3 inches, 2 to 4 inches for the valleys here. I think some could be higher if the further north you go. Cache Valley could certainly be up to 5, 3 to 6 inches for our benches here, and then 6 to 12 inches for the Wasatch Back. And then our mountains, anywhere between 1 to 2 feet and a little bit locally higher in the Cottonwoods.
We should applaud, right?
Oh my gosh, literally a dream, yeah.
Morning drive, though, is going to be the tricky thing, right?
Yes, there will be snow showers falling. It'll definitely be tricky. And of course, we're not used to it given how weird this winter is. And I know people are saying, well, the roads are too warm. It's not going to stick. No, it will stick and it will slush up. I mean, this is going to be heavy at times. So it will be certainly slick out there in spots.
Okay, is it going to get cold enough that we need to worry about black ice and things like that, though?
It will be cold enough after this storm. So we have lows falling into the low 20s Thursday morning, and then highs only in the mid-30s on Thursday. So certainly could see some refreezing happen. And then we're tracking kind of another burst of snow as early as Thursday afternoon and evening into Friday.
Keep them coming.
I know, another
I want
round.
to be able to water my yard this summer.
Oh my gosh, right? It's like crazy. I keep seeing pictures of people's flowers blooming, and I'm like, well, sorry, here comes some snow.
It'll be fine. They'll be fine.
Yeah, they'll be fine.
All right. Thank you so much,
Yeah,
Devin.
no problem.
Thanks for the good news.
Yeah, right.
KSL meteorologist Devin Mashuli joining us. Well, the slick roads many saw this morning will continue through the evening, meaning tomorrow morning's commute is, like you heard Devin say, it's going to look pretty dicey. For more on that, I spoke with UDOT's John Gleason.
A little bit of a late start, mid to late February, having our first chance for road snow to stick down here in the valleys, but that's the winter that we've had so far.
We have. So what have we been seeing on the roads from the first round of these storms that came through?
Well, the big trouble spot this morning was US 189 Provo Canyon. We had multiple crashes from Provo to Heber, and about an hour travel time as well from the bottom to the top there. A few slide-offs in Parley's Canyon, and then we had the wind restrictions on I-80 out in the West Desert that lasted about 13 hours. So a little bit of a precursor to tomorrow morning, where we'll get some heavier snow and again that first chance of road snow to stick down here on the valley floors.
So what do you guys do to prepare for storms like these?
Well, the fortunate thing about not having a lot of these storms is that we have a very, our stockpile of salt is there. Our crews are well rested. The equipment doesn't have a lot of wear and tear, so we're ready to go. And we're going to be out there all night doing the pre-treatments and just, clearing the roads as the snow falls. But it really is, so many of us are rusty and from having the opportunity to drive in these conditions. You just want to give yourself some extra time as you leave tomorrow morning. Check the forecast, know what you're getting into, make sure that your vehicle is ready to go and that you're focused on the road.
Yeah, that's a good word, rusty. Does that make it even more dangerous when we finally do see some of this wet weather?
Well, this is what we would consider an early season storm where so many people are just kind of reacclimating to it, but it's happening later in the season. But it holds true that we're probably going to see more crashes tomorrow as a result of people just driving too fast for the conditions. So as you're heading out tomorrow morning, just make yourself that promise that you're going to slow down. Even if you're driving on what appears to be black pavement, there could still be those icy patches out there. So give yourself extra time, slow it down. It doesn't make any sense to drive freeway speeds tomorrow morning.
And that is our road expert, UDOT's John Gleason. We'll continue to track the storm, bring you updates on air and online throughout the afternoon and tomorrow morning on Utah's Morning News. And make sure that you download the free KSL Weather app so you can get updates pushed to you. Just go to your Google Play or Apple App Store and search for KSL Weather. Stay with us. We'll be back with more in just a moment.
Why'd I go to the doctor? Working on the farm, my heart kept skipping a beat. I didn't think much of it, but my daughters made me get checked out. Turns out I have atrial fibrillation, which increases the risk of stroke about 5 times.
Symptoms like irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain, shortness of breath, fatigue, or lightheadedness can come and go. But if it's AFib, the risk of stroke remains. If you have symptoms, contact a doctor.
I'm so glad I did.
Visit notimetowait.com. Sponsored by Bristol-Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
Need life insurance but have diabetes, high blood pressure, or on anxiety meds? If you're a 50-year-old male, even porky, or with type 2 diabetes, $1 million of life insurance may only cost you about $200 a month. For affordable term life insurance, call Term Provider and speak with Big Lou at 800-230-2777, 800-230-2777, or visit biglou.com. Remember, Big Lou's like you. He's on meds too. 800-230-2777.
What's better than a credit card with low interest? How about one with no interest? For a limited time, when you open a new America First Visa credit card, you'll enjoy 0% APR for the first 6 months. Transfer your balances from higher rate cards to your new America First card to consolidate debt and potentially save yourself a lot of money. That's 0 interest for 6 months. Interested? Then hurry to americafirst.com to apply today. Introductory variable annual percentage rate is subject to membership, eligibility, terms, creditworthiness, change, and conditions. Other limits and requirements may apply. Federally insured by NCUA. Equal opportunity lender.
If you've been disappointed by underachieving savings, a high-yield certificate from America First can be a fantastic way to help your money start doing more. Whether you're planning for an upcoming expense or just want to save smarter and earn bigger, America First's flexible certificates are an outstanding way to grow your cash. So don't wait to get your money working. Head to americafirst.com and open a high-yield certificate today. Membership eligibility, terms, conditions, and change apply. Fees could reduce account earnings. Federally insured by NCUA.
In the handful of years since Utah lowered the legal blood alcohol limit from 0.08 to 0.05, has the state seen an increase or a decrease in DUIs? Have the roads become any safer than they were before the change? A new KSL investigation digs deep into the data, and it will air later tonight. Joining me in studio to give us some insights into tonight's story, KSL investigator Daniela Rivera. So, first of all, start out, tell us what prompted your investigation.
What prompted this investigation was my own curiosity. I was driving down the road one day thinking about how Utah is the only state in the country with this strict BAC limit, and I was curious, did that have an impact? And what was that impact? And so when I first started to Google, the articles I was seeing were looking at data from 2019, the first year that we were seeing this change, because it went into effect on December 30th, 2018. And initially pretty much declared a victory. We were seeing all of our numbers go down, but there wasn't any analysis available after that. So we reached out to the state to ask for that DUI data. Mm-hmm. And the most recent year that has complete data is 2024. So that gives us 6 years since this change. And we went ahead and looked at the 6 years before the change as well. So we've analyzed 12 years of data.
Okay, what does that look like before you go further? What does 12 years of data look like when you're going through that?
You know what? Props to the Department of Public Safety. They gave us a very nicely organized set of data for this. And so we looked at DUI crashes. They broke it out with, no injury, minor injury, severe injury, fatalities. We also have numbers for how many arrests were happening for DUI. And we also have data on what the BAC looks like for people who were arrested for DUIs from 2013 through 2024, 12 years of data.
Okay, without giving away everything that you're going to air in your story tonight, tell us what you found.
Certainly. So I will say those numbers in 2019 looked great and were very encouraging at the time. And then we had a pandemic, and that's something that we definitely see in the data, and this is something that every state in the country saw, not just Utah. Driving behaviors got really egregious out on the roads during the pandemic. So we see this initial drop, and then we see everything shoot right back up with the pandemic. And then what we're really looking at is what has happened since. How have we leveled off in 2022, 2023, 2024, and now counting since that change? And I personally am really looking at the fatalities, because that's what I wanted to know. Are we keeping more people alive on Utah roads?
Okay, you're going to give us that, or we're going to have to wait till 10?
You got to wait. You got to watch tonight at 10.
So tonight at 10, right? Okay,
yes,
we're
ma'am.
excited to watch. Thank you so much for doing that hard work.
Thank you.
Sounds like a lot. A federal judge ordering the Trump administration to reinstate exhibits at a national park that discuss slaves owned by previous presidents, owned by previous presidents. We're going to have more on that. But first, let's take a look at your drive. Traffic and weather. It's brought to you by UCCU. Direct deposit gets you $300. Love where you bank. Michelle?
Winter conditions really started to hit you now in Parley's Canyon westbound, looking at slowdowns between Summit Park and Lambs Canyon. Southbound Highway 40, that is also a rough go between Jordanelle and River Road. And then finally, US 189, that is winter conditions as well between Vivian Park and Heber City. When you need financial products and services for every stage of life, Cypress Credit Union is there for whatever the future holds. Visit cypresscu.com today. I'm Michelle Rowe in the KSL Traffic Center.
Be advised, this is your opportunity to save up to 40 to 80% on a hot tub or swim spa this weekend only. Friday through Sunday, Mountain America Expo Center, Sandy. Be advised, this is your opportunity to save up to 40 to 80% on a hot tub or swim spa this weekend only. Friday through Sunday, Mountain America Expo Center, Sandy. 18-month interest-free financing. Our factories have demanded we sell 1,000 hot tubs and swim spas this weekend. Mountain America Expo Center, Sandy. Huge factory incentives, factory rebates this weekend only. Mountain America Expo Center, Sandy. We can remove your old hot tub. Free delivery of your new hot tub. Deep discounts. Mountain America Expo Center, Sandy. Free delivery of your new hot tub. Just relax and enjoy. Mountain America Expo Center, Sandy. Friday, 2 p.m. to 8 p.m. Saturday, 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. Sunday, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Free admission, free parking, free delivery. Mountain America Expo Center, Sandy. Call 833-SPA-SALE or visit hottubandswimspasale.com.
Amanda, I've been taught to begin with the end in mind. And when it comes to something like weight loss, that's really, really important, because some weight loss plans have no end. It's like another refill or another bill or another year. But soda weight loss has a finish line.
You learn it once, you use it forever. And I'm all about health. I mean, I don't want to have my body become addicted to another drug that I have to take forever in order to be healthy. I want the opposite of that. I want fewer medications. I want my body to learn how to do this on its own and be strong.
For so many weight loss drugs, you have to just take them forever in order to maintain that feeling when you cross the finish line. Yeah. When I hit 70 pounds that I let go of in 5 months, what an amazing feeling. And it was amazing to know I could just go forward from this point.
You can talk to a nutritionist and ask all your questions at 866-800-SODA.
Or you can go to sotaweightloss.com. That's SOTA weightloss.com. Because at SOTA, join us for a short time to have results that last a lifetime.
We asked parents who adopted teens to share their journey.
Nathan has taught me to embrace the moment. Age-wise, I'm in my late 60s. I'm old enough to be his grandfather. Will he be embarrassed to acknowledge me as his dad? I think the most important thing we can do is let them know that they're safe, that they're valued and cared for and loved, and that they're important.
I knew I wanted to be adopted by him because of how he taught me to be the person who I am today. And it's coming from a dad that didn't expect to become a dad, and I feel very proud to be his son.
That was what he needed, and he was what I needed. Every day is full of new opportunities. That's what it's been about, realizing the simple things that it takes to make such a huge difference in these kids' lives.
Learn about adopting a teen from foster care at adoptuskids.org. Brought to you by Adopt US Kids, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, and the Ad Council.
Hey, it's Flo here to say drivers who switch and save with Progressive could save hundreds.
Nice! With my new savings, I'll get some hiking gear. It'll be great for my outdoor era.
I don't know if it counts as an era if you just buy stuff.
I got a cute hiking backpack. It's an outdoor era.
Well, you only bought one thing. I don't think it's an era.
Well, I think we're in a agree to disagree era.
Yeah, sure, you're probably right. Anyway, with the money you could save by switching to Progressive, you can afford to switch to other things in life. It's
my savings era.
Also, everything you do is not an era.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm, and Chuck McDowell definitely not an attorney. This is Chuck. If someone talked you into buying something really silly and you want to get out of that silly little thing, my advice, get the facts. Call me and I'll send you our timeshare exit kit absolutely free. Inside, you'll learn how timeshare works and all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your free exit info kit. 800-290-7100. That's 800-290-7100.
Kitchen and bath transformations start with AMC Building Materials. AMC Building Materials is a large kitchen cabinet and countertop supplier serving both wholesale and retail customers. AMC offers factory direct pricing on all interior remodeling materials, giving you exceptional value without sacrificing quality. Most standard items are available for quick payment and pickup right away. AMC Building Materials provides professional service, free design, and free on-site measurements, along with expert installation by top AMC professionals. From bold kitchen designs to beautiful functional bathrooms, AMC delivers outstanding value with styles you'll love. And best of all, most projects can be completed within just 10 days. Come experience beauty you can see, quality you can feel, and service you can trust. Get directions to the new AMC Building Materials showroom at 3678 South 700 West today and schedule your free estimate. Visit amckitchenslc.org. That's amckitchenslc.org.
You are listening to Midday. I'm Maria Shilaos. On President's Day, a federal judge in Pennsylvania ordered the National Park Service to restore a Philadelphia exhibit about George Washington's slaves that officials had removed in recent weeks. Officials had removed the exhibit, citing an executive order from the president that required restoration of truth and sanity at national monuments. But a federal judge said the administration's actions didn't restore truth, it dismantled it. ABC News correspondent Peter Haralambous has more.
It's interesting because if you look at the history of this exhibit, it isn't particularly controversial. They realized that this site where both Washington and Adams lived existed right around the 2000s, the turn of the century, and it's actually been very collaborative in the next 2 decades in which the National Park Service and the city of Philadelphia worked together to open up this exhibit in 2010 and continue to operate it. What changed, though, was the directive from on high. This was back in March 2025. President Trump put out an executive order called Restoring Truth and Sanity to American History, where it basically issued this broader directive about how the history of the United States should be told. I'll just quote from part of it here. It says that the Department of the Interior should focus on, quote, the greatness and achievements and progress of the American people. And it emphasized this idea that these historical exhibits should not, quote, inappropriately disparage Americans of the past or living. So a little bit more than a month ago, the National Park Service went to this national park, specifically the President's House site, it's called, and removed an exhibit about the enslaved people who lived there with George Washington. Specifically, the National Park Service removed 34 educational panels from this exhibit that referenced slavery, as well as deactivated a number of video presentations that accompanied the panels.
There was no damage, but there was desecration. And for me, it's the same thing.
This prompted a lawsuit from the city of Philadelphia, which argued this action was illegal, that it violated the cooperative agreements that kind of govern how this site is run. And it kind of opened up this broader question of who gets to tell this country's history, if it's a question of might equals right or a more collaborative process.
The executive oversees national parks, so one of the questions raised in this whole thing is why the administration can't dictate what's shown in the parks.
The judge ultimately in this case looked back to a few federal laws, specifically the Administrative Procedure Act, which is kind of cited time and time again in these lawsuits challenging the Trump administration, and these kind of cooperative agreements between Philadelphia and the federal government about how these sites should be run.
That agreement requires parties to meet
and confer if there are to be any changes made to an exhibit.
And the judge, in issuing this order, kind of set off alarm bells about this interpretation of who gets to tell the country's history. It's kind of remarkable when you actually look at this opinion. It's a 40-page opinion that came down on President's Day. The judge ultimately pointing to this kind of similarity, let's say, between George Orwell's 1984, this idea of Big Brother and ignorance being strength, and the Trump administration's approach to how to run these parks and exhibits.
This situation highlights a broader trend and conversation regarding American history, the good, the bad, and the ugly. National park advocates expect many more lawsuits to come out of these changes, so this issue is far from over. The Reverend Jesse Jackson Sr. has died. The famed civil rights activist, ordained Baptist minister, and two-time Democratic presidential candidate was 84. News Nation's Vinay Simlat has a look back on his life.
A statement from Reverend Jesse Jackson Sr.'s family says he died peacefully, surrounded by loved ones. He was hospitalized for an illness late last year before his death early this morning. He led the civil rights movement for decades. A protege of Martin Luther King Jr., a civil rights icon and two-time presidential candidate, the Jackson family announced the death of Reverend Jesse Jackson Sr. on Tuesday morning. The organizer was on the front lines of the march across the Edmund Pettus Bridge, returning last year in a wheelchair. Jackson was there when Martin Luther King Jr. was shot and killed on a balcony in Memphis, Tennessee in 1968. He became an ordained minister and started two civil rights groups in Chicago, the Push and Rainbow organizations.
The only time that we win is when we come together.
Reverend Jesse Jackson Sr. ran for president in 1984 and 1988, but didn't get the nomination. He continued advocating for the poor, for voting rights, for job opportunities.
Clean water. Now.
For clean water in Flint, Michigan. He remained engaged at the George Floyd trial in 2021, the Democratic National Convention in 2024.
Where people needed a lift, Jesse Jackson was there to give it to them. And that's his greatest contribution that I can think of.
In recent years, he faced health challenges. He was diagnosed with Parkinson's. That diagnosis changed to a rare neurological condition. In his final months, his family said he struggled to speak and needed 24-hour care. In Washington, I'm Vinay Simlat.
The NAACP issued a statement following the news of Reverend Jackson's death, saying his work advanced Black America at every turn and that he challenged the country to live up to its highest ideals. It's 2:30, midday at KSL News Radio. I'm Maria Shilaos. Some of the stories we are watching this hour. Another round of nuclear talks wrapping up today between the U.S. and Iran. The U.S. still lingering in third place for the number of medals earned at the Winter Games. We'll get a live check-in with Deanie Wimmer. In KSL traffic, Michelle?
Winter conditions in parts of Parley's and Provo Canyons, Maria.
And you can expect those winter conditions to continue at least for the next couple of days. It's 2:30.
ABC News, I'm Michelle Franzen. A security scare at the U.S. Capitol today ended with the arrest of an armed man who tried to storm the building.
U.S. Capitol Police say the 18-year-old suspect got out of a Mercedes SUV with a loaded shotgun and began running toward the west front of the Capitol. Officers ordered the man to drop the gun, and he complied. Chief Michael Sullivan says the suspect was arrested wearing a tactical vest and gloves.
And when we looked in the vehicle, he had a Kevlar helmet and a gas mask in the vehicle.
Congress is not in session this week, and most lawmakers are home in their districts. Stephen Portnoy, ABC News, Washington.
In Arizona, investigators say DNA samples from a glove found near the home of Nancy Guthrie did not match anyone in the FBI nationwide database, and a motive for the kidnapping is unclear. The 84-year-old mother of Today host Savannah Guthrie has been missing for more than 2 weeks. Talks in Geneva, Switzerland today between the U.S. and Iran on a nuclear deal have wrapped up, both sides signaling progress. This is ABC News.
KSL's top local story. A House committee decided to pull a bill from their agenda this morning that would let high school students transfer between schools and not face restrictions when it comes to playing sports. KSL's Amy Donaldson was at that hearing and says the current transfer rules have restrictions in place to deter people from changing schools just to play on a better team. She also spoke with the coach who was among those against the bill.
I will tell you, coaches, parents, kids, they just figure a workaround. And they just want to play where they want to play for whatever reason they want to play. And I just talked to one of my favorite football coaches at Woods Cross, and he said this idea of allowing more liberal transfers or unlimited transfers will decimate high school sports because high school sports are based on community.
We will watch to see if the bill is put back on the agenda. Utah Jazz says their newest star forward surgery was a success. The team announced last week that Jaren Jackson Jr.'s season had come to an end a week after it had begun. Jackson Jr. was recently traded to Utah from Memphis, but the recovery time for this surgery on his knee is about 3 to 4 months. The Jazz says Jackson Jr. now begins rehab and will be evaluated again in 4 weeks. Taking a look at your money at this moment, at the close, the Dow was up by 32 points, sitting at 49,533. S&P up by 7 and the NASDAQ up by 31 points. Traffic and weather, it's brought to you by UCCU. Up to $500 for loan transfers. Love where you bank. Here's Michelle Rowe.
Again, Maria, we're looking at winter conditions up Parley's Canyon now. That is stretching between the Mountain Dell area up to Summit Park. Southbound Highway 40 remains a bit of a dicey drive as you're making your way toward Heber. And then finally, US 189 in spots between Heber and Wildwood is also winter conditions. Michelle Rowan, the KSL Traffic Center.
80% chance of rain-snow mix tonight, a 100% chance of snow showers tomorrow, and a 30% chance on Thursday. Right now, 39 degrees at the KSL Common Spirit Health Studios.
The sources where we get our news matters.
When you listen to Utah's Morning News, we want you to feel the stories are important to you and trustworthy. This is Amanda Dixon.
And I'm Andy Farnsworth. Join us weekday mornings on KSL News Radio.
Getting help with plumbing repairs is easier than you think. All you have to do is call Any Hour Services or schedule an appointment at anyhourservices.com. No one helps more homeowners than Any Hour Services.
Every day here in Utah, people turn to KSL News Radio for one simple reason: trust. Trust for our reporters, hosts, our coverage, and trust in the businesses heard right here. I've met so many of our listeners over the years, and they'll tell you KSL is part of their daily routine, in the car, at work, at home. And when they hear your business here, it carries the weight of that trust. It isn't just another ad. It's a recommendation coming from a reliable source. When you advertise on KSL News Radio, you reach a loyal, highly engaged audience who listens intentionally. They show up for breaking news, accurate information, and meaningful conversations. And because of that connection, they respond. And when you pair our on-air credibility with digital tools like display advertising, social media, streaming audio, search, geo-targeting, and retargeting, you get a full funnel strategy that works and reaches the right people at the right time. Get marketing that truly moves the needle. Partner with the voice Utah trusts. KSL. Learn more at kslnewsradio.com/advertise.
Hi, I'm Utah tax attorney Jordan Wilcox. When the IRS invades your life, it's never good news. Keep in mind, it's not just you.
I owed roughly $34,000.
$61,000. When the IRS first contacted me, I was horrified.
When they start hounding you and harassing you and assaulting you.
Don't face the IRS alone. With everything in your life at stake, don't trust just anyone.
From what I got told was being done in a matter of 2 years, he had done in a matter of like 48 hours.
It's a great thing to have the IRS off your back.
We have reduced our tax liability by over $42,000.
Once I signed on with Jordan, I never talked to the IRS again.
It changed our lives.
You need someone to fight for you. Visit endtaxworry.com and get relief today. Let's solve your tax problems now. Visit endtaxworry.com. That's endtaxworry.com.
You are listening to Midday. I'm Maria Shilaos. A pair of high-stakes negotiations in Switzerland today as U.S. officials try to hammer out a nuclear deal with Iran and oversee a new round of talks trying to end Russia's war in Ukraine. With more on the talks with Iran, here's News Nation's Hannah Brandt.
according to Iran's state-run news agency, those talks wrapped up after about 3 hours and 30 minutes, so pretty lengthy discussions. And before the talks, Iran this morning announced it's going to allow International Atomic Energy Agency to visit its nuclear facilities and assess what's happening there, which is certainly a step in the right direction from the perspective of the Trump administration, who's hoping that all of these talks are going to lead to a deal with Iran. Now, U.S. Special Envoy Steve Witkoff and Jared Kushner led those negotiations today in Geneva. President Trump has said he's also going to be indirectly involved in all of these negotiations. The president already signaling some optimism that these talks will go better than they did last summer. Remember, those discussions did end with strikes on Iranian nuclear facilities.
We could have had a deal instead of sending the B-2s in to knock out their nuclear potential. And we had to send the B-2s. I hope they're going to be more reasonable. I don't think they want the consequences of not making a deal. They want to make a deal.
There are several signs of potential hurdles, though. Iran's foreign minister writing in a post ahead of the talks that's what is not on the table is submission before threats. And today and yesterday, Iranian state TV reporting that the country's forces were conducting naval drills in the Strait of Hormuz. That's a key oil trading route. Even reporting today that they had decided to close that strait for a few hours while they conduct those drills. Meanwhile, the U.S. is ramping up its military presence, reportedly even preparing for a sustained weeks-long operation in Iran. Now, Iran and its leaders have also warned that if the U.S. strikes, it'll counterstrike, potentially on U.S. military bases in the region. Iran's supreme leader posting a series of threats today about that, suggesting they may even decide to strike the U.S. warships that are positioned off the coast of Iran.
News Nation's Hannah Brandt reporting. The talks with Iran come as the U.S. also holds talks with Russia and Ukraine to try and end the war there. Despite Russia saying that they want peace and will make some sort of deal, it launched another massive strike overnight with hundreds of attack drones and dozens of ballistic missiles, again hitting Ukraine's energy infrastructure. More than 500,000 people have endured months without heating amidst a brutal winter.
The 2026 Winter Games on Middays with Maria, live from Milan. Brought to you by America First Credit Union.
The Winter Games continue in Italy today, and the medal count keeps going up. Norway still leads the pack with 31 medals total, including 14 gold medals. Italy comes in second, followed by the U.S. with 21 total medals, 6 of which are gold. It's time for our daily check-in of the games from KSL 5 TV's Deanie Wimmer, who is in Milan. Deanie, I understand that you've had quite a busy day today, so let's start with some interviews that you've been doing with volunteers there at the games.
Hey, it's so funny because you'll be walking down the street and you run into some Utahns who are here volunteering. And so we've come across a couple of people who, they go to a big expense. They spend their own air miles or their own airfare. They, in some cases, pay for their own lodging, and they come here to volunteer, and they love it. One guy's in the media, kind of organizing room, another's in the athletes village, and you see each other and say, hey, you're from Utah.
Oh, my goodness. It's fun to just see how many Utahns are involved in the games. And tell us about some of the other things that you've been doing today.
Well, you were talking about the medal count, and some of those, at least one of those medals came from some of our Utah athletes. Speed skaters Casey Dawson, Ethan Perron, and Emery Lehman scored silver today in the men's team pursuit in speed skating, and they held the lead for just a moment, and we thought, oh, this could be it, but they just couldn't hang on to the lead. So they came in silver. They said, while they wanted gold, that they felt like as long as they did their best skate, they were happy, and that's what they felt like.
And we're talking by just such a short amount of time. This just makes me, it's like what? What was the difference? I mean, like 0.0,
Not quite that,
okay.
But they do come down to sometimes the hundredth of a second.
That's what I was looking for.
Yeah, even they comment that these races could go either way because that difference is so small. And on the other hand, the women speed skaters also raced, and theirs did come down to a much closer margin. They took fourth, and again felt like they put it all out there and it just didn't go their way. Both of these teams, this is their last time racing together because one or more members will be retiring and leaving, and so they all felt sentimental but happy with how they've worked and what they've accomplished.
We've heard a lot about the ice there in Milan and problems with the ice. Did they encounter any of those problems, or does it seem like the officials now have the ice under control?
Well, these are the only skaters I've heard that have not had problems with ice. It's usually at the other facility that hosts both short track speed skating and figure skating that you have the difference because there's different demands. The arena that we were at today hosts hockey and long track speed skating. So different issues. And fortunately, they have not seemed to have that issue here.
Okay. Tell us about your interview with Ilya Malinin. Am I pronouncing that correctly?
I know. I struggle with that name, too. You know, he talks about just moving forward, wanting to perform well, and we're going to show more of that tonight at 10 o'clock. But it's his first interview since, a pretty rough skate the other day, and the pressure that is on him. It's hard to imagine going through that and trying to deal with that and the technical aspects of his difficult performance.
Okay, well, we will expect to see more tonight at 10. I have been watching all of your pin trading on your social media. I'm also noticing these police officers with capes. Man, I don't know. I think our officers may need to step up a bit.
Right? I know they take fashion seriously, and we've noticed that even the police, they have capes and gold buttons and the whole thing. It's pretty fancy.
All right, Deanie, thanks so much. We'll talk with you again tomorrow.
All right, we'll see you, Maria.
And that is Deanie Wimmer with KSL5 TV. Tonight at 7, tune in to KSL5 TV for speed skating, figure skating, more snowboarding, and freestyle skiing. Then catch KSL5 News at 10 o'clock, followed by more winter game coverage right after. The 2026 Winter Games on Midday with Maria Shilaos. It's brought to you by America First Credit Union. America First Credit Union has everything you need to get your money working. So head to americafirst.com and become a member today. Midday continues in just 60 seconds.
Grand Staircase Escalante is under attack.
Utah politicians are hastily racing to dismantle protections for this special place, one of America's most treasured national monuments and an important part of southern Utah's economy.
An overwhelming majority of Utahns support protecting the Grand Staircase for future generations.
Yet our voices are being ignored by those meant to represent us. Now's the moment to speak up. Learn more about this attack and what could permanently be lost at suwa.org.
Paid for by Southern Utah Wilderness Alliance.
Hello, this is Joe Cordell of Cordell & Cordell. Cordell & Cordell is the largest family law firm in the country, with over 35 years of helping clients navigate divorce. If you or someone you care about is facing a family law issue, let us set up a 1-hour Cordell Consult. The Cordell Consult is a meeting with a local attorney who will give you clear guidance about your options, whether it's a separation, a postnuptial agreement, divorce, or custody. Take the first step. Visit CordellCordell.com. That's CordellCordell.com.
A free clinic opening this month will provide care for uninsured families in Utah County. Bingham Family Clinic Executive Director Shirley Woodward says that we have a lot of hardworking Utahns who are uninsured and can't get the care that they need.
Well, I think that it affects their overall well-being and their ability to do well at whatever they're focused on, whether they are in education or creating their own business. If they have to worry about whether or not they can get care for their child that has a sore throat, and that sore throat turns into an infection, then they end up with an emergency room bill that they can't pay for. They didn't go to the physician or provider because they didn't have money to pay for that. That emergency room bill is going to set them back and create huge debt for both the individual that receives care and then also for the hospital that won't be able to collect that money because they can't. And so it's kind of a win-win situation where we're allowing those individuals to come and get accessible health care and then also alleviating debt from the institutions that provide care, including hospitals, so private providers that are giving care and don't have the ability to collect that fund. It affects them as well. And so we work in partnership with them to help create the type of care that is needed for the individual to stay healthy and grow and develop, from young children to those that are the breadwinners bringing in the money. If they miss work, then they lose pay, and that affects them as well.
So local college students and a free clinic are helping bridge the gap.
We are a little bit of a unique model for free clinics, as one of our attributes is education, and we want our patients to be educated about their health conditions, but we also want to provide future healthcare professionals with an education and have real life experiences. So we're working in collaboration with the universities and schools that provide that type of training within Utah County. So we have affiliations with BYU and UVU and NORDA, and they will have students that come here and receive clinical opportunities and service hours that they need for their credits, and that helps support the staffing because we're 100% volunteer. So everyone that is providing care, from creating our webpage to the providers that prescribe the medicines and diagnose the conditions, it's all out of the goodness of their heart.
The clinic is located on UVU's campus. When it opens later this month, it will be able to provide free services for people who can't afford health insurance but don't qualify for government assistance. The Year of the Horse begins today as Asian cultures around the world celebrate the Lunar New Year. All the details on the special day and how folks can join in the celebrations coming up next. But first, it's traffic on KSL News Radio. It's brought to you by UCCU. Direct deposit gets you $300. Love where you bank. Here's Michelle Rowe.
We have a crash eastbound Parley's Canyon. At the East Canyon exit, it is off to the right. They're working on trying to get this out of the Gore area going through that area. We're also seeing delays, though. This is spanning in Parley's Canyon from the Mountain Dell area up to Parley Summit. Also looking at delays in Provo Canyon due to winter conditions as well. Attention Wasatch Front businesses and property managers, don't wait for bad weather to schedule professional snow service with GoPave Utah. Your complete parking lot safety starts with GoPaveUtah.com. I'm Michelle Rowe in the KSL Traffic Center.
This is Jeff Stout with Fink and McGregor, Mortgages Made Simple. Let's talk conventional versus FHA loans. Both offer cash-out refinances up to 80% loan-to-value or LTV, so which is best for you? It's kind of like Uber and Lyft. I always compare the two before booking a ride. Conventional loans don't have mortgage insurance under 80% LTV. However, the rates and costs get higher with lower credit scores, cash-out, and high LTVs. FHA loans always have mortgage insurance, but the rates are lower, they don't penalize you for cash out and high LTV loans, and they allow for higher debt-to-income ratios. FHA often results in lower payment even with mortgage insurance. We can analyze your situation within minutes. Call us today. Fink and McGregor, Mortgages Made Simple, 801-264-9494. That's 264-9494. Or on the web at finkmcgregor.com. NMLS 289115.
Who doesn't love winning? Right now, at KSL.com/win, you'll find exciting contests with prizes you actually want. Tickets, gift cards, and more. It's fast, it's free, and you can enter in just a few clicks. New contests are added all the time, so there's always another chance to win big. Don't miss out. Visit KSL.com/win today and enter to win. That's KSL.com/win. Did you know your baby might need their first dental visit sooner than you think? Did you know your baby should visit the dentist after their first tooth appears or by their first birthday? Keep your family healthy. Your smile matters. Babies can get cavities as soon as they have teeth. Bad bacteria can be transferred to a baby's mouth through unwashed spoons or pacifiers. Pacifiers dipped in sugar or sweetened drinks can also cause cavities. Prevention begins by using a small, soft toothbrush and a little fluoride toothpaste. Grain of rice size ages 1 to 2 and a pea size ages 3 to 6. Practice with your baby before their first dental exam. A dental professional can give you the best advice to keep your baby healthy and smiling. If you don't have a dentist, visit yoursmileutah.org for more information on community dental services. This message brought to you by Utah Oral Health Coalition, Utah Dental Association, University of Utah School of Dentistry, the Utah Department of Health and Human Services, and other Utah health partners. Remember, a healthy smile means a healthier life.
Your smile matters.
If you owe back taxes, listen carefully to rule number 1. Never go up against the IRS alone. They're cracking down, freezing bank accounts, garnishing paychecks, canceling passports. Even your home or business could be at risk. But here's what they don't tell you. The IRS has powerful tax relief programs that could save you thousands if you qualify. That's why smart people call Optima Tax Relief, America's #1 tax resolution firm. Nobody knows these programs like the experts at Optima. Their team of tax attorneys and licensed professionals have resolved over $2 billion in tax debt for people just like you. The IRS is not stopping, so don't wait and don't take them on alone. For tax help you need, for tax help you can trust, call Optima today for a free consultation.
Call 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Every 2 minutes, an American is sexually assaulted. The majority of victims know their attacker. It could be your friend, your neighbor, or someone you met at a party. If you said no, it's rape, and it's a crime. This is Christina Ricci with RAIN. Call the National Sexual Assault Hotline today at 1-800-656-HOPE or visit RAIN.org. That's RAINN.org.
Brought to you by Rain and this station.
This is Midday. I'm Maria Shilaos. The Lunar New Year gets underway today, ushering in the Year of the Horse. Lunar New Year is an international holiday observed throughout many Asian countries with a 15-day festival. It's also celebrated by families across the United States and here in Utah. Joining me to talk about the Lunar New Year is Rachel Winder, who is originally from Taiwan.
The full title is actually the Lunar Solar New Year, and it's based on the lunar solar calendar that I think China created back 4,000 years ago. And it was originally there to help specifically with agriculture, actually. It was there to help with planting as well as harvesting seasons. And then the significance of why we still use it today, even though, most of us aren't farmers, is that we also based a lot of our festivals. We basically narrowed them down to the lunar solar calendar so that it's always on the same lunar solar year day when we celebrate, things like New Year's, the Dragon Festival, and just festivals that are important to Chinese tradition and culture.
Okay, so describe how you do celebrate.
My family specifically, it's almost kind of like the American Thanksgiving. You get all your family together, you have reunions, families will travel from afar, and you all get together. Usually we get together at my grandparents' home, and we eat a lot. There's several dishes all on the table, and you're eating for a majority of the day. And then we also like to play mahjong, which is a tile game in Asian culture. And the mahjong usually is a 4-player game, and so you'll just rotate, and only the adults play in my family, just because a lot of mahjong games can involve gambling, and so the adults will be like, "Oh, we'll have this game," and then the kids will go play other games. Or in my family, they'll usually send us off with an adult to go watch a movie in the theaters, something like that. Yeah, lots of food, definitely games, and lots of family time.
Yeah, why is this so special to Asian cultures to celebrate this? Even though we're not farmers anymore, why is it so special?
Lots of families are kind of separated by work. We're not farmers anymore. We're now workers, and sometimes you'll have to leave your hometown to work far away. And the New Year is really an occasion to get back together. Most companies will give you 2 weeks off, and you'll travel back home. During this time, public transportation is just nuts. But you'll travel back home, and you'll just spend 12, 14 days with just your family. cooking, you're being with family, and it's a time where like society, like our culture has specifically specified like, hey, you can be home, you can be resting, you can be with your family. And so, yeah, it's very important that we take that time.
This is the year of the horse. So what does that mean and why is it special?
Yeah, so the Chinese zodiac, it corresponds, it's like a 12-year zodiac. So I think the West has, it's like the similar thing with the astrology zodiac where you have like the stars and you have the different, like I think I'm a Taurus. The Chinese zodiac is every 12 years you have 12 different animals that represent the year. So this year's the year of the horse. And so depending on what year you're born, it correlates to a certain animal. And the horse specifically is like associated with prosperity. It's like resilience. There's a saying that the horse always knows the way in Chinese, and it's like, so you have a lot of wisdom, a lot of experience. And so, yeah, so each zodiac year is tied to a specific personality. And so a lot of Chinese and Taiwanese people will specify like, oh, if you're a monkey or if you're a horse, then you have this kind of personality, and this is kind of like your strength, and these might be your weaknesses. Like someone who was born in the year of the horse, maybe one of their weaknesses is that they're very impatient. They're very restless because of the year that they were born. But at the same time, they have the strength of, they're very strong. They're very resilient. They want to see things through to the end.
All right. You said, so this is the year of prosperity. Can we count on that?
I hope so. We want all the luck and all the prosperity we can get for the year of the horse.
We definitely do. Anything that you'd like to add that maybe I didn't ask you?
Oh, I know specifically during the New Year, a lot of families will eat niangao, which is the year. It translates to year cake, and it's a rice cake. And the Chinese they love a good pun, and so the pun it sounds a lot like a high year, and so that's why we like to start the new year by eating something that it's like high year, like it's something that will bring us luck, something that will bring us prosperity again. So anything with a good pun is great, and the year of the horse. One of my favorite puns that I've heard is the word for immediately in Chinese is ma sang. And so ma sang, it also has the word horse in it. So this year we're going to immediately have prosperity, immediately have luck. And that's the significance of the year of the horse, and with our Chinese New Year celebration.
That is Rachel Winder, a Taiwanese American. So for those of you who celebrate the holiday, Happy Lunar New Year. Heather Peterson is here filling in today for Jeff Kaplan, who's just a little bit under the weather. We kind of noticed his voice a little scratchy yesterday. Have you ever celebrated any part of the Chinese New Year or the Lunar New Year?
I have not, but it sounded great. I mean, mahjong and lots of food. That sounds like a party to me.
Right? We'll take all the food. I want to go to the Dragon Parade myself.
They look very cool on TV.
Thanks for joining us. Have a great afternoon. Jeff Kaplan's Afternoon News is next.
KSL FM Midvale.
KSL Salt Lake City.
From the KSL Common Spirit Health Studios, this is KSL News Radio.
Utah's news, traffic, and weather station.
It's 3 o'clock at KSL News Radio. I'm Heather Peterson in for Jeff Kaplan today. It is cloudy and 39 degrees. KSL's top story. A judge has sentenced the older brother of Gavin Peterson to 5 years to life in prison. Gavin died in 2024 after years of torture and abuse at the hands of his family. KSL News Radio's Adam Small has more from the courthouse in Ogden.
Tyler Peterson pled guilty last year to multiple first-degree felonies, including child abuse, homicide, noting he has a mental condition. That's a big reason why he's now just being sentenced today, almost a full year since his guilty plea. Peterson has autism as well as multiple personality disorders associated with anxiety and depression, and that's why his attorney argued he should continue his treatment and supervision at home with his mother, where he's been living under strict supervision for quite some time. The defense argued Peterson's father and stepmother took advantage of his conditions and coerced him into participating in abuse